They're putrid. They're the worst team in the NFL.
The season, the 2024 season is over.
Lamar Jackson can't win the playoffs. He'll win a third MVP, though, so that's great.
Drew Sample is the most important piece of the Bengals offense next year.
Go Joe Burrow. He deserves to be MVP. I wish he was the Browns quarterback. Kind of mean that.
If you're looking for the most reactionary, silly, and unserious show on the internet, then you're home. Live from Hamilton, Ohio, it's Off the Bench by Chatterbox Sports on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, and good morning. Off the Bench presented by United Dairy Farmers. Welcome in, off and rolling here on a Tuesday. And I think we're all going to need to stand up, do some jumping jacks, do some cartwheels just to kind of liven it up in this room just a little bit to wake it up. I'm a little tired myself. I know why you're tired, Jacob.
Oh, yeah, I was up late last night.
How much sleep did you get last night? Let's be real.
Couple hours. I was good. I think I was about at like 2:30.
What were you doing?
Playing the game,
What
brother.
game were you playing?
Same thing about 500,000 other people in America were doing. Yeah,
That's right.
I think it was over 600,000. It got
I saw a screenshot. It was 555,000 were waiting in the queue for online matchups yesterday. It's just, unbelievable. NCAA 25 dropped last night. Crazy good game. It was a lot of fun.
So you get home, you grab that controller. What's the step by step, the first exact thing you did when you actually logged in? Did you just play a regular game, or did you start your dynasty right off the bat?
So first thing I did, I wanted to see Alabama and Ohio State's rosters, since those two are my two teams. So I loaded up blackout versus whiteout at the shoe, Ohio State, Alabama. Played first half as Ohio State, second half as Alabama. Get a grip of the new controls, see the rosters. A lot of fun, crazy cool game. Really hard to play on the road.
Yeah,
really hard to play on the road.
It's really hard to play on the road.
So Jimmy, have you partaken in this game as well?
I did. I played it. I was planning to wait till Friday, and then yesterday I kind of started to get some FOMO that all my friends were talking about playing it, so I bought the game like right before I left work. And I got home, played it. I started a dynasty. We're doing pretty well. I'm Miami of Ohio. We're 2-1. We have two big wins over Power 5 teams. Not the greatest Power 5 teams, but they're Power 5 teams.
This game is very realistic.
Yeah.
Very realistic then.
He beat Northwestern. Let's clear it up.
I beat Northwestern on the road and Cincinnati.
Got the victory bell. You brought the victory bell home to the cradle of coaches, Jimbo.
I like it.
And then we lost by about 35 points to Notre Dame on the road. But
You threw that game.
yeah, I threw it. I didn't try that one.
The joke wasn't as funny when I realized he wasn't playing as Notre Dame. I forgot he did say Miami of Ohio. Yeah. So, anyways, but you know, it was a shot at Notre Dame. It just backfired. That's all. But Reed, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Justin.
I thought about it. I'll give you another day.
Thanks.
Maybe
I really
tomorrow.
appreciate
Maybe
having a job.
I don't want to see you on Friday though. That's I don't want to see you on Friday.
Listen, Kenner, the feeling's mutual, my guy. The first thing you do when you come to this show is you kick me out, and here I'm supposed to produce your show. Like I'm just some slappy here at Chatterbox Sports. I guess that's what I am. Just read the slappy.
So are you calling is Casey a slappy? Is that what?
No, it's the fact that you kicked me off your show, and then now I've got to produce it.
He's not.
That makes me a slappy.
Trace put this multi-million-dollar contract in front of me for Chatterbox.
Yeah.
He was like, "You got to sign it." I'm like, "I will turn down millions if I have to work
Not
with
working
Reed."
with Reed.
And he's like, "All right, fine." So when push comes to shove, but yeah, I thought about giving you another day, maybe two.
In your defense, I am noticeably hard to work with. That's what everyone has always said. They said that I'm very, very tough, prima donna, hard to deal with. So you were just seeing the writing on the wall.
No, I know. I mean, what is this, like a bit? Because
we don't do bits.
I've never done a bit in my life.
We don't do
Oh,
bits.
who's this?
I'm Elliot.
Hi.
Nice to meet me.
How are you, Elliot? Good
I'm
morning.
Did you just do the date mic?
Yes, nice to meet me.
I'm doing very good. How are you? I will say, listen, if there was ever a day where it's going to be hard to do a sports talk show, it would be today. When literally nothing happened yesterday. Literally nothing. Not one single thing outside of an all-star event. Outside of that event, there was nothing.
An all-star event. That's what we're going to disrespect the home run derby.
Well, that's what it's called. That's what it is. It's an all-star event.
But today we have to soup it up. We have to
That's
prop
true.
it up.
Yes.
We have to talk about it like it was the greatest sporting event.
It was
that
cool.
happened.
It was cool.
It was fun.
I'm not saying it wasn't cool. I'm just saying when literally even the WNBA had a day off yesterday. No games yesterday for the WNBA. I was looking through headlines.
You're trying to find Caitlin Clark's turnovers?
I was trying to, and I couldn't find it. No turnovers yesterday. Season low.
You know what I found? Angel Reese still posted up, still calling for the ball. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, she
For sure.
We made it all of about 6 minutes into the show before an Angel Reese
What was
stray.
the over/under?
I think you hit the
What
over.
has this show become, Kenner?
It is what it is. But let's talk about that home run derby just real quick because it's funny. We've talked about the NBA All-Star Game.
Yeah.
Like the NBA All-Star Game, I shouldn't say fans are losing it. I'm losing interest. I don't care about the NBA All-Star Game. I know the NBA is set up to kind of connect with a younger audience, 34 years old. Maybe I'm no longer that younger audience that it is particularly looking for. I guess, for me, I think really what the thing about the NBA All-Star Game is that when you started getting those super teams, if you will, the cool part about the NBA All-Star Game is you got to see the best NBA players kind of team up and pair up and go out on the floor and play a game against one another. Then when you started seeing the Heatles, and then when you started seeing Kevin Durant go to the Warriors, seeing Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant on the floor at the same time, that kind of lost its allure a little bit, right? Like, I don't know if that has something to do with it, but the NBA All-Star Game has declined in ratings. It's declined in interest. No one seems to care about it. I know that the obviously with the Pro Bowl, that got so bad that they basically just scrapped it and had to come up with a way to come up with some entertaining activities just to put these guys through, just to make their millions off the TV deal. But with baseball, the one thing I respect about baseball is it's the one remaining All-Star Game and events, as Elliot referred to, where you still get some of those like nostalgic type of feels, like, and I think the thing that people complain about is, they wear the All-Star jerseys instead of their own jerseys. I guess those are okay things to complain about compared to what the other sports are going through. I'm not a hockey guy. I don't know if we have any NHL guys in here or Major League Soccer. I know you into that. How are those All-Star games? Are those like intriguing to those fan bases?
The NHL All-Star Game is great.
Yeah, I was going to say the NHL is noted for being a pretty good one, but it's a sport that doesn't gravitate towards mass audiences because of how it's played, where it's played, and
Their
so
skill
on.
challenge is really incredible too.
Right.
So are you a hockey guy?
I like hockey. I don't have a team, but I watch the All-Star Game.
You don't have a team.
I root for the Rangers because I don't have a team in
What
Cincinnati.
about the Stars?
Our Stars?
I am not a Stars fan. I will not be lumped in that group.
Okay.
I root against Dallas and everything.
I really like the NHL All-Star Game because they do it like tournament style. They do it there's 4 teams, I believe, and they have like a whole draft, which is really cool, and then they do the skills competition too. It's like the fastest shot, the speed skating competition, and then they do like a little tournament style, and whoever comes out on top wins. But
Is it a fan vote? Is it a fan vote for the NHL too?
I don't know how that works.
I don't know exactly how that works either.
While we talk about like the home run derby, which I think is the crown jewel on all-star events, the dunk contest was toe-to-toe with it for a while. And at certain years, the dunk contest is better than the home run derby, but I don't think that's the case currently. I think baseball could make a really cool event in which you just prop up each team selects a pitcher and a hitter to hit, and they literally just go one-on-one. Like you get Hunter Green facing Shohei Ohtani 3 times.
That'd be sweet.
And you see what happens. They won't do it because you don't want to put stress on your pitchers like that, but I think it would be great to just – the field's empty. The field's completely empty. It's literally just Hunter Green on the mound, a catcher, and Shohei Ohtani at the plate, and you just do that, and you can make it kind of like a tournament to be like, all right, if Hunter Green and Ellie De La Cruz beat the Dodgers and they carry on and you just keep going all the way to the end. I don't know how it would shake out, but I think it would be really cool to see the best hitters versus the best pitchers.
It was like that World Baseball Classic matchup a few years ago.
Yes.
It was – I mean, everyone was glued. I'm in a bowling league, all right? I'm in a bowling league, and we stopped our
What's your
bowling.
handicap?
We stopped our I have like a 185 average.
Okay.
That's
So I
pretty
don't know.
good.
That's
I
pretty
don't
good.
You know,
So you're
is
bad.
it? I don't know. There's some really good bowlers. I don't know what's good or bad, but we all stopped our bowling. We put our beers down, all right, and we went and gathered around the TV to watch Shohei Ohtani against my favorite player, not Joey Votto, but the good version of Joey Votto, Mr. Trout. So as far as that's concerned, but that's
That's
cool.
what everyone calls Mike Trout.
Yeah, the good version of Joey Votto. You know, I just want to get Elliot
That's if
riled
you look
up.
up Baseball Reference. That's the first nickname.
It's his nickname.
But no, like that's a good point though. Like to see that matchup, and to see again, if you don't have to face many other batters, it's not a situational thing. It's just, hey, I'm trying to get him out, and he's trying to knock it out of the ballpark. I think that'd be pretty intriguing as well. But the overall, they've tinkered with, of course, the rules over the years for the Derby, but every year that is one thing that seems to continue to deliver. Where the dunk contest has kind of lost its luster, the 3-point contest has kind of taken over as far as the most interesting thing of NBA All-Star Weekend. But the Home Run Derby last night. How long did you guys make it into the Home Run Derby, and was this something that you guys paid attention to throughout the night, the whole thing? What was the status of that as far as you guys go?
I was not planning on watching it, if I'm going to be completely honest. And then
you had other plans.
Everything on Twitter was saying that it started off incredible, so I turned it on at the end of the first round when Ozuna and Henderson, the last two, went. And I watched basically the rest of it, and I thought it was really, really good. It's one of the better home run derbies I can remember in recent memory. I was ready to watch until the end. I didn't get annoyed by the format. In the last couple of years, I've been really annoyed by the format, not being able to see the balls fly and really spending a lot of time between pitches waiting for them to land. So I thought the format was great. I thought the swing off between Teoscar and who was it, Bohm?
Yep.
In the semifinals was very good. And then obviously Bobby Witt being a foot and a half away from tying it at the end was about as much as you can ask for. So I thought it was really, really good, and it drew me in even though I wasn't planning on watching it.
I watched the whole thing. I loved it. So granted, I had money on it, so that always helps. But yeah.
When don't you have money on something? 365 days in the year. What do we think? 10?
Well,
10
why are we
days?
exposing my boy like that?
I don't know.
It's not exposure.
Why are
I'm
we
just trying to
doing
find the numbers.
Like
I
a
got your
week.
back.
There's like a week
Okay,
in there.
that's fine. That's fine.
But anyway, so
It's normally like the Easter week,
Yeah.
the
The week where there's no sports.
Palm Sunday to Easter. He just doesn't do it then.
So yeah, I watched the entire thing. I thought it was great. I really did. I've always been a fan of the Home Run Derby. I still think it's the best all-star event, non-all-star game, all-star event in professional sports. I don't think it's close. I think you could watch it and just like Jacob said, stay focused on it for 2+ hours and never get bored. And that's what I did last night. I thought it was awesome. I will say some of the new rules. I liked the new format where it's the first round is everybody. It's basically a time limit. Whoever hits the most home runs, you advance, and the other guys don't. I didn't understand why they went back to the bracket though. After I didn't know that was a rule. I'm out on the bracket. I just feel like if you were going to do that, you could have just done the bracket from the beginning. I would have just had the same format for the next round, and then you just keep doing it until the final two, and then that's the championship.
If I had to guess why they did that is because they wanted swing-offs, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you're more likely to get swing-offs if everyone's involved, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're more likely to get a tie there. So I agree with you. I didn't get it. But it's funny how the Home Run Derby, like, I didn't know what the format was going into this. Like, I knew that they changed it, but I didn't know what the open format was going to be. And I just don't care. That's how good the event is. It's like I just don't care. I just watch and I sit down and similar to Jacob, wasn't intent on watching the whole thing. And I didn't watch the whole thing. At one point, I had to help my wife with her store. She got some new stuff for her store. But it still roped you in. You get the drama. You get everything exciting. There wasn't normally there's someone who shines, right? I don't think there was that this year. Normally there's someone, and normally the person that shines doesn't even win the event, like Josh Hamilton back in 2008 when he hit 24 home runs or whatever that was at Old Yankee Stadium. But Bobby Witt probably, I'd say, put on the best show.
Yeah.
Him or Alec Bohm, but obviously Teoscar won. But it was a good event. It was a good event all around.
Bohm did a lot better. That's why people were mocking any sports book out there that was putting out odds on this thing. It's like you always go for the underdogs in those. Because,
yeah.
I mean, Ramirez did not. He looked like what his odds were. So,
Well,
but you know,
He had a good first round.
He had a good. So Jose Ramirez didn't hit any ball like further than like 400 feet. Every single ball he hit was a wall scraper.
but he hit him hard, and that's very important from what I've been told. So keep
You're a
going.
big
That's my
velo.
bad.
But yeah,
He leads
yeah.
the league in doubles this year, so I think velo matters.
I will never take the favorite in a home run derby ever. There is no scenario where I will do that.
So
Yeah, I bet on Pete Alonso, so I wouldn't feel stupid if he won, and I felt stupid for betting on him.
Oh yeah,
He was terrible.
horrible round.
I had Alonso over Witt in the finals. What I put my money on, but got 1-2.
Well, there you
Got
go.
1-2.
How did I'm a base. Obviously, I know a lot about baseball. What do they do to those balls to juice them? Because those clearly aren't the same baseballs that they play with.
Whatever they were doing a couple years ago.
Well, I get it, but like I guess this is more of a physics thing. Like I don't understand what the makeup of the ball is that makes it fly.
Remember that movie Flubber?
So much better.
Flubber.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
That's it.
Flubber. Angel Reese and Flubber. That's what I've contributed to this opening segment today. That's it. Just so we're clear.
That's pretty good though. Flubber was Flubber Robin Williams?
Oh yeah.
Flubber. Well, I think there was 2 Flubbers. There was an older Flubber, and then there was one in the '90s, a remake with Robin Williams, because we can't just come up with new ideas. We have to just remake everything. But yeah, Angel Reese getting a stray was minus 10,000. Flubber being brought up, that was some long odds. Yeah. That was some long odds.
Well, as a kid, when Flubber came out, I knew. I mean, you could just tell by looking at me. I didn't think I was ever going to be a dunker, but I thought, man, is Flubber real? Could I go to the internet and order some Flubber?
Man, I'll tell you what, Flubber, tough reviews. Tough reviews for Flubber.
I don't know if I've seen Flubber.
You haven't seen Flubber?
Never heard of Flubber, if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
The more you say the name of the movie, the weirder the name of it sounds. Flubber. It's going to break. This is exactly what I was afraid of at this time. What'd you find?
Nothing.
Oh. Well,
it was just my hand.
I'm learning your hand motions.
My hand was just up.
Anyways, all right, Paul Skeens on the mound tonight for the National League, of course, and thought it was very interesting. A couple articles came out yesterday that, well, if Paul Skeens was not the starting pitcher, not named the starting pitcher for the National League, a particular individual, a very key individual, was going to step in to intervene if he was not named the starter. We'll talk about who that was next. Sorry. I'm following. I'm not just waiting for the hand motion to say, hey, we are back live. It's the facial expressions over there. It's like you lean in, you give it the Shane Gillis eye as you click on it. You're like, just trying to, but we're back. Off the Bench, presented by United Dairy Farmers.
That's right, Ken. That's right. I don't quite. I feel like I've gotten these transitions better. But we're not there yet. We're not there. That's the glory of living, Justin, is every day you get to be a little better than the day before. And if you're a little worse, then I don't know what to tell you.
That's deep.
Then you got tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's a deep way to start segment number 2. So Angel Reese and Flubber were the highlights of segment number 1. What can we get into here?
I'm excited.
I'm pretty excited as well. So did you look up Flubber?
I did.
Did
I
it
did.
ring a bell?
I Googled it. No, I don't think I've seen that movie. No.
Okay.
I will say I missed, not to get back into the home run derby thing, but I did miss Chris Berman last night. I miss Chris the back. I need the back for every single home run, and I
understand
just
it's not only that, but he also just randomly will name just cities in the geographic area of the stadium. That one's all the way back to Fort Worth, and you're just like, what? I don't know. You need a map to watch Chris Berman do the home run derby.
Can you think of a broadcaster or a guy that is like very well known for like multiple things, like? You think of Dick Vitale, you think college basketball, and that's it, right? Like that, it doesn't ring a bell with anything else, right? But like Berman, think of NFL, you think of NFL Sunday night, all that fun stuff, and then you think of the home run derby, right? So that guy found a way to make it in like 2 different formats, so that's pretty cool. But you're right, like there's just something about that voice, just kind of emceeing it basically, and just kind of driving the bus, if you will. Definitely noticed the absence as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, I also noticed that I feel like the camera people. At some points, it seemed like the Bally Sports cameras, where they wouldn't follow the ball. Like they'd have the camera up in like the 3rd deck, and it would be the most routine fly out to the first child that was on the field. And I'd be like, "What's going on here? How do you miss the ball that much?" They'd have like a side camera that would always get it right, but they'd never go to that one. It was fun though. I thoroughly enjoyed that home run derby, especially because I won my bet.
Did you guys notice that there was like sand in the field? Did anyone else notice that?
I saw when it kept kicking up. Are you talking about?
Yeah, because I think it's a turf field.
Yeah.
So did they just put sand instead of the rubber? Because every time the ball would hit the grass,
it would spray.
It would spray up brown, which I've never seen before. And I just was like, did they put sand on the field? I imagine if you put those instead of those rubber pellets, you can just put sand and it'd all be the same. But it was just thought that was interesting.
I noticed that too. I didn't know what that was.
It's all about safety as they had. What was your thought? Any kid get blasted last night?
I think they were older kids this year.
They did seem like older kids.
I think
lame.
I'm almost positive they were all like teenagers.
Getting
and
closer. Getting closer.
It's closer to the.
Get them to 21 and get them all boozed up. Throw them out there. It'd be fun to watch.
Caleb 513 said they should all be ball hawks
But
out
you'd
there.
have to split it.
Half children and half.
Well, yeah.
Half children and half ball hawks, so the ball hawks can run over the children.
Game day experience.
I think it should be a competition, like and put like of age people. If you want to put 21-year-olds that are drunk, that's fine. But whoever catches the most balls gets an AB in the All-Star game. Gets a real live AB. They just throw them out there facing Paul Skeens and like, hey, if you and then it doubles down. You get a hit off Paul Skeens, or if you get on base.
Stay.
If you get on base against Paul Skeens, you are guaranteed a contract. You get put on whoever the host site's 26-man roster is for the rest of the year.
Better yet, they get to decide who hosts the World Series. They get to come out and say whoever they want.
Were you the one that didn't like the home field advantage being
Yes.
on the line of the All-Star game? Was that you?
Yes.
We didn't talk about it. You know why? Because you're not on this show.
That's right. You
Yeah,
kicked me
but
out.
you are on it now, so now we could talk about it. But no, so you do not like the fact that is on the line in these games.
I think that was very, very silly. It came as a result. So what happened was, I think in 2002, they tied at Miller Park, and they said, well, like, what are we doing if this game tied? Like, we got to get a winner. So then Bud Selig said, whoever wins gets home field advantage. What a silly proposition. And I understand that people like it because it means something. But if we're going to put something as important as home field advantage in the World Series on the line, then I want the teams to compete to win the game. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it as long as Paul Skeens goes 5 innings. As long as Shohei Ohtani doesn't leave in the 4th inning because we need to give me C.J. Abrams an at-bat. Like, we don't need to do that. Like, I need them to actually compete.
Yeah, because you can't play it like an exhibition game with something as big as home field advantage to the biggest series of your championship series.
Right.
You can't play it out like an exhibition game with the result of that being on the line, and then people get pissed because you didn't put so-and-so in. Like, if you're going to treat it that way and something as big as that is on the line, but then Reds fans will be upset because we don't give a damn about the World Series because, we ain't going to be there. So it's like.
But that's why I liked it, because I would root for the National League. Now I just don't care who wins.
I don't care who wins, and like tonight's a night where I won't watch that game.
Oh yeah,
Really?
I
So
probably
you guys don't take any pride? Like, this is weird. I take a little pride in the National League. Like, I want the National League to.
I always root for the Americans.
How do you
Yeah,
take
like,
pride in the
I
National
did when it meant something.
Yeah, that's correct. How do you take pride in the National League if it doesn't mean anything?
Because my team that I root for plays in the National League. And
But it
I
doesn't
like-
mean anything.
It means
It's the same
it's
argument.
for bragging
You beat the
rights.
American
It's
League.
that's what I'm getting at is that you got to find a way to make it matter. Like like I root for the AFC over the NFC. Like I do that. Like if the Bengals aren't in the Super Bowl, I want the AFC to win for some weird reason, unless it's like the Steelers. Like,
I don't
unless
do
that
that.
happens. But like
I do the same thing.
I take pride in my league, I guess.
I'm also like, aren't you going to root for the team that has the Reds players on it?
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just saying.
I'm not cheer for the Reds to do good.
Rooting
Right.
for the National League as a whole, for me, has taken a massive hit in like how much I care about them winning the game, since it doesn't affect the World Series anymore.
Fair.
It did, as we know.
I
All those All-Star games that determined home field advantage really helped the Reds in the World Series.
Yeah, they sure did.
They did.
Earlier when I said about the NBA All-Star Game, why I feel like it's not as cool seeing all those guys on the floor at the same time is because the Heatles and all that stuff, like all of a sudden it was the norm to see LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh,
Right.
and it became the norm to see these big-time stars, team up on these teams. So it kind of lost its aura a little bit, seeing them out on the floor together. The cool part about the All-Star Game that I used to really like too is you would get matchups. We talked about those matchups earlier. You would get matchups you normally don't ever get. Like, for instance, now that every team plays everybody, Paul Skeens will face Aaron Judge every year now. But before they changed the rule where every team plays every team, that would be a very rare matchup that you would rarely get to see unless it's once every 4 years or 5 or whatever the rotation was before they would play one another. That's the other thing too, where now it's not as special to see. It's cool to see Skeens versus Judge, but it's not as rare now to see Skeens versus Judge because that's a matchup that, barring Skeens isn't a part of the rotation heading into a Yankees series where you may miss that, but they're going to play each other every year, so that may have an impact on that game as well.
Yeah, like the All-Star game in the 60s and 70s was huge because it was quite literally your only time to see If you were a Cincinnati Reds fan, it was your only time to see Mickey Mantle play. It was your only time to see Reggie Jackson play until the World Series. And it was the only time that you got to see Pete Rose go up against whoever the best pitchers from the American League. So it was a chance to honestly, in an age where sports wasn't as readily available to all of us, it was a chance to see your heroes. You heard about Mickey Mantle because you read the newspaper and you got the baseball cards, but you didn't get to actually see Mickey Mantle play. Now that has been lost a little bit here in recent years, but I still think it's an incredible event, and it is marqueed by the fact that it is the only thing going on. So
Correct. That's the other part of it too, where it's the other All-Star games have something else to watch besides the actual All-Star game. This is quite literally the only event that takes place tonight.
All right. Did you guys see the thing about if Paul Skeens was not named the starter
Yes.
for the National League? And some people are very upset about that. I don't have a problem with it. So this came out yesterday that, Paul Skeens being named. For one, they weren't going to name the starter for the starting pitchers for the All-Star game until they said about, Sunday night. But then they ended up coming out in the middle of the show, I think on Friday, or towards the end of the show. And Skeens was named the starter, which was a big deal. But apparently, according to Bobby Nightingale, or to Bob Nightingale of USA Today, Rob Manfred would have stepped in if Sale had received the call. Skeens is the starting pitcher fans wanted to see, and thus MLB must deliver, even if he's not the most deserving, which is ironic because of all the other sports, with all the Bronny James talk, with all the should Caitlin Clark be on Team USA talk, this, that, and the other, that the commissioner for that sport needs to step in and do something, and that that this all the nepotism stuff with Bronny, how nothing's ever earned anymore, and yada yada. Well, Skeens, it worked out perfect because I think Sale had a start on Sunday, so that basically made him unavailable Saturday or Sunday. So it made him unavailable for the start to begin with. But Skeens being named the starter, obviously a good thing. We all want to see him pitch, even though he pitches for a team that we hate within our division. However, had he not been named the starter, we would have seen the commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, step in. I wish he wouldn't have been named the starter to see how people would have reacted to that, just based on how people are reacting to what he would have done had that been the case. It's already kind of an interesting talking point. But would you have been upset had Sale been named the starter and Rob Manfred steps in to say, not so fast, my best Lee Corso impression, not so fast, my friend, we're taking Sale out, we want Skeens in. How would you have responded if that would have been the case?
No, I wouldn't have had a problem with that whatsoever. I think that's the move he probably should have made. I think Chris Sale's 40 years old. He's been in the league forever. Everyone knows who Chris Sale is, and we know what the All-Star game has become. It's a showcase of superstars, and it's the same thing we were talking about last year where, maybe Ellie should have gotten in because he's one of the most electric players in the game. People want to see that. There's no debate that Paul Skeens is the pitcher people are most excited to see this year in the All-Star game. I don't think that's, other than Jimmy, who's going to watch Scooball's innings standing up the whole time. I think Paul Skeens starting for the National League is probably the most exciting thing you can get, and especially with, Stephen Kwan batting first, which I guess is
two faces of the game,
yeah.
Stephen Kwan and Paul Skeens.
Little bit questionable for Stephen Kwan to lead off, but then you go Gunnar Henderson, Juan Soto, and if one of those three guys gets on base, you get Aaron Judge. So to see Paul Skeens face those guys, I know like you said, they play everyone in the major leagues now, so you're going to get to see those matchups eventually anyway. But it just puts a bigger spotlight on one of the best young stars in the game. I think it would be a great move for Manfred, but I'm glad that Torey Lovullo got it right and just picked him in the first place.
I think that would have been weird for Manfred to step in and change up the All-Star starting rotation. It's just weird to me. Why? There's a reason that there's an All-Star manager. Let him make the lineup. Give him the opportunity to decide who he wants to start for the team. I think it's to have the commissioner of the league come in and step in and alter one of the rosters is weird. I think that's over a line.
Let's put it this way, because right now we don't have a connection to Sale, right? So we don't really care if he done it. Okay, whatever.
Yep.
Let's say though Hunter Green, because he pitched lights out. Right, especially down, leading into this All-Star game.
Yeah.
So let's say he was named the starter, and then Rob Manfred comes in and said, "Oh no, we appreciate you, Hunter Green, you're great, but we want Skeens." Then I think we would maybe be a little bit more passionate about had he made that decision as far as
I'd want Manfred's head on a stick.
Correct.
If it was my guy. I mean, if it was my guy, there's no room for this.
All right, fair. At least you're admitting it. My guy, different set of rules.
100%.
Not my guy. Yeah, makes
no,
a lot
I
of
don't
sense.
act like I'm an unbiased sports fan. I'm a lot of things, but one of them is a biased sports fan.
Yeah, I just think it would be like you talk about the game, how much it means having the commissioner step in and change lineups and rosters and rotations. I think that just makes it mean even less. That's weird.
This is where I think that we are too hard on. We put commissioners of sports in an impossible spot. What's one of the biggest cries that we have against Rob Manfred or baseball in general is we got to market the stars. We got to market the stars. And this would be an opportunity where he could use his power, his power to market a star. You've got Paul Skeens, who was one of one, who is already shot up the ranks and is pitching lights out to a fact that he might be the National League's best pitcher. He might be the game's best pitcher already so young. On top of that, he's dating a model like that is very popular. You have a chance to have a marketable star, and you're going to put him on a pedestal that he might not get because he unfortunately plays in Pittsburgh. You're putting him on a pedestal and say, hey, this is us marketing a star. I have no problem with that whatsoever. This is what we call for. This is what we say. Hey, Rob Manfred, do a better job marketing your stars. And he has an opportunity to do that. Luckily, he didn't have to throw his power. I like that he said, I would have done it. Because that's what he should do. You should market your stars. If that's what you want, that's what he's trying to do. I just think we put commissioners in an impossible spot sometimes.
Jimmy, before I get your take too, but it's kind of like what Elliot said. You didn't say it would be wrong. You just said it would be weird. And it would. It would be. There would be some people that don't like it, but it would be a very weird decision. Doesn't necessarily mean it would be the wrong decision, but it would definitely be weird. Jimmy, thoughts? If he would have pulled Sale, let's say Sale was named the starter, and Rob Manfred intervened and said, no, we're going to have Skeens be the starting pitcher for, of course, the National League. Your reaction would be what?
No, I don't think I would have pulled Sale had they named him the starter, but I am glad that they named Skeens the starter because I do think that marketing him on the biggest stage against the biggest bats in the American League is definitely going to help baseball, and I think a lot of people are going to tune in. I'm quite frustrated with how it was handled on the other side personally, but I guess I can't complain too much about that. But because I think that with Corbin Burns, I think he was named the starter yesterday afternoon, and we already kind of know. I think baseball fans know what they have with Corbin Burns. He already won a Cy Young, and he won an ERA title, and he's a 4-time All-Star. And you have Tarek Skubal, who is better in pretty much every statistical category. He's pitched 2 innings less than Corbin Burns. He has 30 more strikeouts. His K percentage is 30%. His whip is lower by a good margin, and we're still sitting here, and we're giving Corbin Burns the nod. And a lot of people think it's because, the Rangers play the Orioles right after the break, and so we'll give Corbin Burns the start because Bruce Bochy's the manager and kind of play chess on that side. But I think I was hoping they would do the same thing on the American League and choose the guy that has been dominating. He's the Cy Young favorite, like huge Cy Young favorite right now, and choose kind of the younger guy that we don't know exactly what we have. Because if I'm being honest, a lot of people don't watch the Tigers. I know they hadn't seen Skubal until he came and pitched here.
What?
So
They played here?
They did.
How'd it go?
It went great.
How did I don't remember. I'm surprised it took you. I mean, we knew where he was going to go. I mean, we did. I'm just pushing it, But what happened?
But he had 13 strikeouts. It was good.
Not bad.
But no, I think choosing Skeens was definitely the right idea. I think
clearly the right call.
I think it's a little weird that Manfred even said that he would have.
Yeah, why say it?
Why say it?
I wouldn't come out and that's weird.
But I think it's definitely the right call, and I would have been like, okay, I guess that makes sense had he had to do it. But I don't think. I mean, they chose Skeens. Why did he even need to say it?
I very much think it was a PR stunt for him to say that he would have done that because like I said, he's been killed for not marketing stars.
You're right.
And this is a chance to say like I would have marketed a star if I had the opportunity to do it.
I don't think he would have done it.
You don't think so?
I don't think he would have done it, but I didn't think of it till you said it. I don't even think he would have done it. If Sale's named the starter, I don't think he does anything. But now he could sound like the badass. Like, hey, luckily he made the right decision because I was going to have to step in if this is like.
I think if he would have done something, we would have never heard that Sale was the starter.
Correct.
Lavello would have said Sale's the starter. He would have called him, changed it, and then they would have been announced that Paul Skeens. Like I don't think he would have changed an announcement. I think he would have done it behind the scenes before.
Because it's still an honor to be named a starter, so it'd also be disrespectful. I don't care how long he's been in the league. It'd be disrespectful to Sale. It'd be disrespectful if Hunter Green was named the starter and pulled. Like that's still weird too to do that. But yeah, you're right. I don't think that starter would. I think it would have been submitted to the league first, and then So.
It would have been awesome. Now we need Chris Sale to pull a Chris Sale and just cut up everyone's jerseys before the game. Because that's what he does best. He just throws a temper tantrum. Yeah. Just cut them up. Just cut them up. That is the greatest, one of the best storylines of the 21st century in baseball.
All right, Off the Bench presented by United Dairy Farmers. We'll step away for a few moments. We're live here on Chatterbox Sports on YouTube, 1410 ESPN Radio in Dayton. And there's so many sports going on here in middle of July that I'm anticipating that we're going to go over our time on the next segment.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure, because we have Elliot's headlines coming up next. Don't go anywhere. All right, and we are back off the bench, presented by United Dairy Farmers. Jimmy, we got Reed filling in for Casey this week, of course, and Elliot and Jacob. Jacob's a little tired today. He's been playing video games, till all hours of the night.
That's right.
So, but you still beat me here. So
Yeah,
kudos. Kudos. Yeah, I'm really bummed. I used to think I had the longest drive to get here, but I don't. It's all pretty even. It's all pretty spread out.
Yeah, we all make a trek. We all make a trek.
A long journey, perilous journey.
And I got
Elliot's the only one that really has issues, though.
Well,
Seemingly every single
Seemingly
day.
every day.
you walk.
We're
a
not
mi-
doing this today. We're not doing this today.
You walk a
blood's
mile.
gonna
You
boil.
walk a mile in my flip flops, and you'll see how I drive. So,
you walk a mile.
so you go ahead and do that.
You got the top down on that bug. Commute time doesn't matter.
That's right. It's true. But unless it rains.
That's true.
Yeah. Other than that, let's do some headlines. This should be good. All right. So
We did the ESPYs earlier. It can't be worse.
Yeah, so I wrote nothing down. So because there was nothing to talk about.
That's
so
the
here's some headlines. Nicole Kidman on her marriage, marijuana, and the making of Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut.
Great movie.
That was just one of the headlines. Flight attendant shows how to fly business class for the price of the economy.
Ooh.
Oh. When is the first day of school? A list of 2024 start dates for the Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky areas.
Now that's interesting.
A couple leaps 90 feet into the gorge from popular photo spot to avoid an oncoming train.
Okay.
Safety first.
Who is J.D. Vance's wife? Osha Vance.
Wonderful lady.
Met her in college.
Here's an easy trick to get rid of mice and rats.
Kenner knows how to get rid of a mouse.
Heyo.
Took me a second.
Anything else? This Arizona town is one of the best places to retire in the U.S. I didn't click on the link, so we don't know what town that is.
So you just copied the headline?
No, brother's just
I'm not-
scrolling on
no, I'm
Yahoo
just-
right now.
I'm just on
yeah,
Yahoo.
no, he's just.
I mean, there are
scrolling.
Elliot's headlines. It's up for
Katy
you.
Perry responded to some criticism over her Woman's World video.
I saw Taylor Swift is close to beating Stevie Wonder for most weeks on #1 or something.
Really?
Like that.
God, he didn't even see it coming.
No, he
How about
didn't.
that?
That's right. Well, he did because he's not blind. But
Anything else?
Are we woke on Stevie Wonder on this show?
the most ever, he gave that girl a fist bump. Like, I don't know what else there is to do. He grabbed the mic at, what was that, the Grammys a couple years ago? I mean, it's preposterous that we've let this charade go on for as long as we have.
Are we woke on Stevie Wonder?
Oh, here's one. Adam Sandler.
More headlines. Love it.
More headlines.
Adam Sandler was joined by his wife and his daughters at the 2024 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good family affair.
His
I like
family
it.
went. And Lady Gaga's friends reveal how she really feels about ex Taylor Kinney 8 years after their breakup.
I would love to know.
8 years after their
Well, you gotta
breakup.
calm down. Clear your mind, then you can assess it.
But in all seriousness, the other only headline I had was that national anthem was the very worst of all time.
The worst of all time. Actually,
Reed-
no, I don't think so. I think
I was at a bar and couldn't hear it. Reed texted me, so I started looking for the clip, and I found it. It's the worst national anthem to ever happen. That's worse than Fergie's.
No.
I think Fergie's was so funny that it was actually good.
Fergie's was worse because of the reactions.
Roseanne gave it a standing ovation. I mean, that's how bad
Really?
it was. Yeah. You know what?
Roseanne?
You're not familiar
You're
with Roseanne?
dating yourself now?
I am dating myself, I think.
I know who Roseanne is, but what? I don't remember.
You don't know the Roseanne national anthem?
No.
Oh, yeah, she
Oh. Fergie is as far as you go back?
What's the Roseanne national anthem?
very purposefully sang terribly.
Oh, really?
And then grabbed her crotch on the way off the field.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could say that. on
When
this,
was
but I'm
that? What
saying
year was this?
What year
in?
was that?
It was in the 90s.
Okay.
Well,
Many,
Wasn't
many
born
moons
then.
ago. Many, many moons ago.
Well,
You know,
It's documented. I mean,
Roseanne
I feel
national
like
anthem.
I feel
Yeah,
like
dude,
the
Brad
Roseanne
Osmus is
crotch
huge,
grab.
so.
See what comes out.
the Brad Osmus thing is crazy.
Brad Osmus thing is great.
Great. He's
That was-
played like the 5th most games of a catcher in MLB history, and he played in like 2010s.
And I was in the womb.
2010.
in 2010.
I was
Like-
fresh out the womb.
Here's the thing about the national anthem last night is I sent a text to almost every group chat that I was in, and I said that just gave me chills, and it was part a joke and then half to see like who was watching. Like I was very much like putting it in line to see who was paying attention, because a couple people like gave it like a heart. But they're like, oh,
Yeah.
it was probably pretty good. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Started off all right.
It did start off. It started off fine.
Fine's a better word.
Right. It was
It was
fine.
okay.
So when you show people like it's the worst ever and you play it, they will go like, oh, this isn't that bad, and then they get to the high notes and you're like,
It wouldn't have been
Really
talked
bad.
about on the show today until about a minute into the anthem.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's when she lost America. I looked at the Roseanne national anthem. That happened in 1990.
What was the matchup? Was it Reds Padres?
No idea.
I was -12.
I was -9.
-11.
I was 1.
I think that.
I was 6.
Well, do you guys blame the singer or do you blame the person who told her to sing it that way?
Well, she was.
feel like
she's a
she-
She's
singer.
the one
sang it.
performing?
Right,
She sang it that way.
But don't they get like a coach when they're singing a big?
No.
thing
Well,
like
we're
that?
blaming the manager for the anthem too. And was
Well,
it the
it's
manager's,
the manager's fault.
First Greg, then
it's
David
the
Bell,
manager-
now
it's the
Ingrid
manager's
Anderson,
fault.
coach.
This was just a conversation. I think it's her fault, but we had a conversation.
There's no-
last
there's
night.
Up next
there's
on
no-
Off the Bench, how was the national anthem David Bell's fault?
You think when like Luke Bryan sings the national anthem in a Georgia football game, he's got like
Kirby
a full,
Smart's telling him.
full staff coaching him up there to see? No, it's when they're. I think they said she was like a 4-time Grammy nominee. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, check her Wikipedia.
What does she sing?
Her Wikipedia is very funny now.
Wikipedia's funny.
But it's just, she just did a bad version of the anthem. Tough. It's tough.
We're missing out on the most logical explanation for all of this. As a very intelligent man who leads this country once said, I had a bad night.
That's true.
That's
true.
all it was.
It's true. Maybe he did. Maybe
she
did
had
have
a bad night.
Maybe she had a flu.
Up next on Off the Bench, nuanced takes on the political landscape of 2024.
Oh, she's from Michigan. She's from right by where I live.
No, bad looks.
All that water must be getting in her throat.
Not close to Flint whatsoever, but okay.
Taking shots at the water now.
Probably runs off.
Yeah, it is. There's something wrong with
Some
it.
lead
For sure.
runoff.
Up next on Off the Bench, we propose a solution to the Flint, Michigan water situation.
The Flint water.
Elliot, we'll start with you.
We're on the roll.
I've got an issue for that. You know how Arnold Palmer has the things where you can like put it in the water and it becomes then Arnold Palmer? Like that's what you should do with all the water there. Just put
Make it all
put
Arnold
the,
Palmer?
Make it all Arnold Palmer.
What would that do with the lead? You're just drinking
If
lead.
you're gonna
I
get
think-
sick, at least it tastes better.
Yeah,
Iced
it'll-
tea, lemonade,
I think
and
it'll.
lead.
I think it'll dilute it.
It would taste better. That's it.
You don't know what's in those APs, dude.
That's right.
Could be the
Or
cure to everything.
food coloring, make it all yellow or something.
What is
Make it
happening?
all yellow. What?
Yellow or
What is that?
Why would you
salt?
drink-
Are you using yellow food
Just
covering?
make
Or
it
coloring?
yellow?
yellow or red.
Don't drink it.
Yeah.
Red dye number 40, whatever the one. That
Oh, I love Red 40.
Red 40.
Red dye.
Up next on. Oh, I thought you were going for it. I thought you were going-
It will be done again at some point in this show.
Oh, people are gonna be so pissed. Talk sports. If you give us the sports to talk about, we will talk.
Mouse Cop can't even be in the chat being like, talk about soccer now. It wasn't even soccer.
There was no soccer. There was. I looked.
That
I
wasn't even
looked.
fake sports.
Because soccer's over.
The British Open doesn't happen
Real
until
good
Thursday,
soccer.
so we have no British Open to talk about.
I have a feeling it's going to be a
W-
golf show on Thursday.
Correct. WNBA did not play. There is no college football news other than they released a video game. FCC
I feel like
does
that's
play
pretty
tomorrow.
fairly big news.
Huh?
That's pretty big news.
Yeah, but we talked about it already.
Looking at how this.
By the way,
how
I
this
have the
show
most
planned-
July sports tweet ever. You want to know what the projected AP poll is going to be? Not what the AP
love
top
that.
25 is.
Wow.
This is no, we don't
that.
really need to go into that. But I'm dying laughing that this is the most peak July tweet ever. Hey, take a look at our projected AP top 25. If there's anything
We're
that's more
so
pointless
close.
than the AP top 25 is the projected AP top 25.
What's it
give
looking
me a
like?
break.
How high is Notre Dame? Top 3? 1, 2?
7.
They're not in. Oh no, they're number 6. My bad. I was
Close.
Tyler, I thought they would be, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's just projected. So.
Yeah, right. So
We do have tennis news. This is the Hamburg European Open. Trungelti is beating Offner. And then Kupfer is beating Baez. Javi, I guess.
Javi?
And that's it.
What famous sandwich is from Hamburg, Germany?
Vegemite.
Stick around and find out next on Off the Bench. No, what is it? I don't want to wait.
What do you mean? What is it?
What is it?
From Hamburg, Germany?
Hamburger.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Hey, how about that? I could do that. I can't do it on radio. I could do that right there. How about that?
Drew Garrison.
Came to me late.
I love it.
Drew Garrison brought in some news. Joe Burrow shaved his head.
Oh man, we could have opened with that. We could have done the first hour on that.
He has a buzz cut.
What stinks is I've been trying to convince my wife, who's a hairstylist, to give me a buzz cut for over a month now. And now it's going to look like I'm just copying Joe Burrow because I still want it.
Zach Bryan and Joe Burrow.
But here's the thing. Like, do I want to be known as, like, copying Joe Burrow? Because
Yes.
I think, like, yeah, I'm just leaning into the bit at that
You
point.
could be You could be like Joe Bryan or Zach Burrow. I mean, you can combine the looks. And by the way, my wife won't let me do a buzz cut either because she's gone with all my friends in their 30s. They're all balding, and I'm not balding, so she will not let me shave my head.
I don't have a wife, so maybe I'll just come in here with a buzz cut to stick it to you both.
Yeah. That's fun.
2 good heads of hair over here, dude. Three really good heads of hair. You're fine, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, my wife won't let me buzz the hair either.
With all due.
Listen.
It's not
Looks like
balding
the
until you
Ardennes
have-
Forest
no.
up here in World War One. I mean,
not
it's just
balding until it's
going
in the back.
I mean, those outside receivers are running goes. Those corners have flipped their hips and are dropping fast.
I was proud because I was looking at my brother's hair the other day, and he's got it there, but I guess it's kind of losing there too a little bit. But it's
Yep.
it's going back. It's going bad. It's all right.
It's
though.
not that bad. You make it sound worse than it is, which I think hurts the public perception.
I like to control how people make fun of me.
Okay.
I like to control that, so it seems like I'm a part of the joke.
I like
it
that.
still hurts a little bit.
Okay.
But I like to be a part of the joke. At least it lets me control it a little bit. Lets me help the damage. All right, Kenner, let's get this bad boy back on the rails.
Yeah, you have 2 minutes left in this segment.
No, 2. So I am curious. So Drew Garrison with that super chat, Joe Burrow shaved his head. What are we supposed to do with that information? Because I guarantee you, I know James Rapine and I know all the writers. They're going to have a full article on top 5 haircuts of Joe Burrow's career.
Well, I'll tell you what. If he's not spending all that time taking care of his hair, he's going to be throwing for more yards. So I'm going to play some over props.
Man, piano and haircuts. It's been a busy offseason.
That's right. He's playing
for your
chess.
guy.
He's playing piano. He can't be taking care of the hair or be spending too much time
Also
off the field.
Modeling.
a little bit.
Well, he
Jacket
doesn't have
with
to
a
have.
hole
He
in the
doesn't
back?
put the back on his shirt, so he's at least saving time with that.
That is true. Here's the thing: he hasn't had a season-ending injury.
Yeah.
When he's got a buzz cut.
True.
You can spin this however you want with your little Cleveland Browns bias. I'm
Well,
not.
I'm
gonna
just
this
sitting
is
here.
All,
I
this
haven't
is all
even- what did I
positive.
do?
This is coming up for the old Cincinnati Bengals, Justin.
That's right.
We'll be right back. More Off the Bench presented by United Dairy Farmers. I can't wait. Don't go anywhere. All right, we are back. I am a Browns fan, yes. I was
Yes.
sitting here minding my own business, and the next thing I know, you guys thought I was going to throw shade? Thought I was going to hate?
Well, you did already.
How?
Well, your little facetious question about what we're supposed to do with this information.
You mean the $5 super chat? I'm honoring our listeners, dude. Don't
What
disrespect
are we
our
supposed to do
listeners.
with this?
Well, Drew
information?
Garrison has another $5 super chat.
Jared Goff
He-
puts on sunglasses and you lose your mind. So let's calm down.
Do you really, Jimmy?
He didn't just put on sunglasses. He put on buffs. A little
Joe
bit
Burrow don't
different.
wear buffs, dude.
Joe Burrow wore buffs first.
Drew Garrison, he is in prison break serial killer mode. That is why it matters. The Bengals may not lose a game.
Thoughts?
Until I see him play a game.
Until they play
Then
the
we can talk.
Browns.
We know someone else is in prison break mode.
Can't break out if you've never been in.
I guess that's true.
That's
Valid.
true.
Valid.
Oh.
Fair
Valid.
point.
That's fair. Can't
Philosophical.
go to jail if
on
you never go to
today's show.
trial.
What did you say?
Can't go to jail if you never go to trial.
Elliot, anything? You got anything? Anything on this back and forth?
Money's a hell of a drug.
Breathe it in, man.
Kinner.
Just saying.
You can do whatever
Would
you want
you-
with money. That's the best part about it.
Would you join us in if the Reds find a way to win 12 games in a row, you shave your head?
You said us. I was just going to bring this up. You
Yes.
put in there that you would shave your head. Did everyone else jump on?
I think that
board?
was show 1 or 2. Jimmy agreed to do that.
Show 1 or 2. I think it was the show that Elliott declared the season over. I
believe so.
I told him
Which
'Cause
one
that's
was
like
that?
every
Yeah,
show. It's like,
it was
That was a few of them.
There was a couple of those.
it was whenever that clip came out that Kirby made where he cut it like
Kirby getting mentioned on this show also minus 5,000.
10,000, yeah.
We would have talked. Kirby lives in the minds of the people on this show so much.
you dunked on his tweet the other day for no damn reason. He just
I
you
Reed
got to.
stole Elliott's text and dunked on
Oh,
his.
okay. See, I love inside jokes.
I
I'll
wasn't
be
go-
part of one someday.
I wasn't gonna out Kirby like that, or out Elliott like that. But yeah, I get a unique position as a Cubs fan
Thank you, Reed.
where yeah, that was Jacob that just threw it right under. I get a unique position
best part about
because
buses.
I get to stay on the opposite side and still give my opinion sometimes, and I like it when people go, I hate that I agree with him right now. But that happens sometimes. But
Yeah, it was the 5-2 and just took the number 1 pitcher in baseball. And then I saw your tweet, and I'm like, Jesus, that was uncalled for. You just dunked on him for no reason. But
Actually, that was the tweet that I didn't steal. That I didn't steal, right?
So
No,
you,
that was-
so
that
you
was
steal other tweets.
No, that was the tweet you would have
No,
said.
there was a tweet that we brought up that I did. I think it was the Trace tweet. I'll just the Trace tweet is the one that I took. We're just airing it all out now. And the Kirby one I came up with on my own.
Nice.
And
It was
then
good.
And then I saw that there was a text
Well,
simultaneously.
There was
when I
shared
tweeted.
sentiment.
So just to be clear, I have the Trace's tweet, and the only reason I bring this up is because I thought it was very funny. So Trace tweeted out whether
You
you want.
guys put us on this trajectory.
I didn't do anything. He did.
Jacob.
You made this go a lot longer than it had to.
Trace tweeted out, whether you wanted Condon or not, Burns is a Red, and I'll be rooting like hell for him. Don't read those comments, Chase. We're excited to have you a part of the Reds. This was about an hour before that. I'm going to say something about the MLB draft. If you don't take Bazana or Condon, you're putting your job directly on the chopping block.
I like
Well, he
it.
told Chase Burns not to read that.
Yeah, don't read that one. Read the other one.
A lot of hot takes for an MLB draft. I love it. Hey, should we talk sports? Because we started to do buy or sell yesterday.
That's
and
right.
We didn't
We
even
did.
finish it.
Cool.
So the first buy or sell, just a quick recap for the first one. All right, buy or sell. So we said yesterday the Cardinals, the biggest threat to the Brewers post All-Star break. Buy or sell. One more time, starting with you. Did you buy it or sell it?
I bought it. I said I think the Cardinals are playing better. Well, we will be playing better baseball than they have already in their 4 games above 500. So I'd expect them to be better.
I bought it, and you know what? Now that I'm saying it again, I'm going to sell it because I think you know what? Why not have the Pirates have a chance at this division? So I'll change my answer. Pirates.
Now, why did you change it? It was because of the very well thought out explanation of our next guest, a guy that I wish was on the show every single day.
No, I
a guy that I would kill to work with. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in.
I want to make it
Welcome
very
in,
clear.
Reed.
I changed it for the bit.
For the bit.
Killed to work with. I think you killed my work. Like I liked being on this show every day, and you just said never again. Well, yeah, here's the thing. I think I used the phrase the Cardinals were propped up by some voodoo magic because it doesn't make they look small, bark, quack, whatever you want to say, like a playoff team.
Yeah,
They've got
quack.
two.
They do quack like a playoff
They
team.
have
That's
two
good
Hall
to
of
say.
Famers on the corners of the infield. They've got young talent in Mason Wynn. They've got veteran pieces in the rotation, and they've got a bona fide closer, one of the best in the league. That looks like a playoff team, but there's some reason that you can't buy into them. And the reason is because they don't score runs. They have the second least amount of runs scored in the National League. They have a terrible run differential, which I know isn't the end-all, be-all, but it's a pretty good determining factor on, hey, this team's pretty good because they win games by a large margin more often than not. That's what great teams do. And the Cardinals just aren't that. Yeah, they've played very well since Mother's Day, 2-month span, but some teams have, gone on a few weeks of bad baseball. The Reds, the first 6 weeks were bad. Now they've played pretty well over the last 6 weeks. So I don't know. I think the Cardinals are propped up by just some weird thing. It's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, they're going to continue. They'll probably win 81 games, but I don't think that's a playoff team. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates are the team that no one wants to face.
Jimmy, did you buy that the Cardinals were the
Yes.
biggest threat to the Brewers?
Yes, I did buy it, and I'm going to buy it again. I think that they're getting good production from guys like Alec Burleson, Brendan Donovan, Mason Wynn, who's a rookie, who's been phenomenal, and then Contreras is having a great year. Arenado's kind of coming back into form. Goldschmidt's had a bit of a rough year, but I think with his veteran status, I think he'll come around when it matters. So yeah, I think that they very well can win this division. They're sitting 4.5 games behind the Brewers right now, and I think I trust in an organization like the Cardinals to continue to win games and make a push for the division and get a wild card spot.
All right, so that's what we started with yesterday, and that took an entire segment, that one right there. So we have a couple more to get to. This is the rest of the show. I like it.
This is big.
Yeah, this is huge. All right, next up, buy or sell. So as of right now, if the playoffs started today, the NL Central would have 2 teams in the postseason. Do you project it finishing out that way? Buy or sell, the NL Central getting 2 teams into the postseason?
I'm going to buy it because I'm not completely sold on the Brewers winning the division. I think the Pirates are a formidable team. Their pitching staff's great, and the lineup will probably get better than it is right now, you would think. They're pretty young across the board. And then, like I said, I think the Cardinals are a bigger threat than the Pirates anyway. So I think 2 of those teams, the Brewers, obviously, whether in first or second, and then one of those other 2 teams could win the division or finish second. I think 2 teams will get in.
I think there's a chance, but I think the NL West is so weird right now. I think they're going to get 2 and/or 3 teams down there. So I'm gonna sell this. I don't think the NL Central is getting 2 teams.
My thing with the West is they have to play each other, which will be tough. And playing the Central, you get to play, with all due respect, the Cubs, the Reds.
What respect was due? Like, what was that? Like,
The Cubs and the Reds are bad.
Bad teams.
Bad teams. I feel okay saying that because my team's also in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Cardinals do give the Brewers the best chance at competition there for the top. But at the end of the day, like Reed said, when you have a run differential of minus 38, if you were to continue that trend and you have a run differential of almost 80 under, then yeah, I have a hard time believing you're going to be good enough to be anywhere near the postseason. And I think the Brewers at some point run away with this division.
this is a tough one because, look, 6 teams make it. Obviously, every division gets a division winner. So let's start doing the math here. The NL Central is going to get 1. It's probably going to be the Brewers. I think they're going to win the division. Out in the West, the Dodgers are going to win. In the East, it's going to be the Phillies or the Braves. And whoever doesn't win that division is going to make it too. So that's 4 spots already locked up. I feel very confident that the NL West is going to get a second team. Whether it's the Padres, whether it's the Diamondbacks, who, by the way, are a game over 500 with Corbin Carroll playing bad, with Alec Thomas playing bad. That seems like a team that you should watch out for. And then who knows what the San Francisco Giants are. I really don't know. The San Francisco Giants seem like they need to be in the National League Central because they fit the bill as the Cubs and the Reds and the Pirates and whatnot. So can the Central get another team other than the Brewers? The Cardinals, who are currently in that spot, the Pirates, who have a phenomenal pitching rotation and play pretty good defense as well, and then the Cubs, who I don't know what they are. In the Reds, I'll buy. I think that the NL Central will get another team. I think that eventually the Diamondbacks will fall off. I think the Padres are going to be locked in there. And then I think that whether it be the Pittsburgh Pirates, the St. Louis Cardinals, or the Chicago Cubs will make it from the National League Central.
Yep, I'm also going to buy. I think part of the reason I'm going to buy it is just how close the Central, like even the bottom teams in the Central, are to getting a wild card spot. And I do think the Mets sit third place with the third wild card spot right now.
How about the Mets? Yeah.
And I personally don't think that the Mets are going to make it because they're the Mets. There's not much else I can say about that one.
About as good of a take as you can have.
And
but they got
fair.
Grimace.
They got rid of that guy who said they're the worst team in the league.
They do have Grimace. But I think the Padres will make it over the Diamondbacks to give the West a second spot. But right now, I think the Brewers will end up winning that division, and I think either the Cardinals or the Pirates. Honestly, I think any team from the Central could take one of those last wild card spots, and I do think one of them will. So I'm going to buy. I think they'll get 2.
Yeah, again, you look at the Mets. I mean, they're the only ones. I mean, 7-3 in their last 10. That was the hottest non-division leading team in the National League heading in to the All-Star break, and obviously they're holding that third spot down as of right now. The Cardinals, the only other NL Central team in, because like you guys talked about, the Brewers sitting atop the division. But now you're looking at the Pirates and the Reds to be able to make that jump. And obviously, I think we all feel pretty good about the Pirates' ability to be able to do that. Look, can the Central get 2 in? Yes, I think they're more than capable of getting 2 in. But the problem is the gap between the Cardinals and the rest of the teams in the hunt for that second or third spot, it's razor thin. So it's just that's the thing. There's not really a whole lot of very good teams competing for these final spots. They all have major deficiencies. It's just all that's gonna matter is who jumps out of the All-Star break the hottest, and then who makes the biggest moves at the deadline. That's gonna play a huge role in this as far as that's concerned. Off the bench, presented by United Dairy Farmers. A little buy or sell action here as we try to resemble some kind of professional sports talk show today.
Very.
I mean, from Flubber to Angel Reese to whatever the hell that headline segment was. I mean, my God. I mean, we're just on a roll today.
Well, here's the thing.
We're a global show.
We are a global show, and it's not our fault because there's no sports. It's really the world's fault that there is no sports today. So if the world, maybe I don't know who would be in charge of that. Bless you, Jim.
Thank you.
I don't know who would be in charge of scheduling sporting events from July 15th to the 20th, but they need to be better. They need to be better all
That's
around.
good. Yeah.
All right, so this next one up on buy or sell. The first buy or sell was the Cardinals are the biggest threat to the Brewers, buy or sell. All right, now with this one, with the Brewers, who have been pretty much sitting atop the NL Central from the very beginning, buy or sell, the Brewers will finish the season atop the NL Central. I know we talked about the strength of the Central and how many of these teams can actually push the Brewers. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, buy or sell that the Brewers hold off the Pirates, the Cardinals, the Reds, and the Cubs. Buy or sell?
I'm going to buy it. I think it's just more likely than not that the Brewers win this division. I think it'd be cool if any of the other teams got hot and could come back, but they're 4.5 games up on the Cardinals, and Reed just talked about how bad the Cardinals' bats have been this year. So, I mean, unless you're looking at the Pirates turning this around drastically or the Reds becoming the team we expected the Reds to be in the preseason, or the Cubs' bats waking up to what a lot of people expected them to be this year. So you'd need one of those teams to get unbelievably hot to catch the Brewers, and I just don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to buy the Brewers.
I'm going to buy them all the way. I think they're the best all-around team in this division. They've showed that for the first half of the season. It's going to continue. You see water always finds its level. I think they've been pretty level for a while now, and they will continue to be so towards the back half of this season. I think we know what the Reds are, and if you're going 5-5 through the easiest part of your schedule, I can't really say that you're going to win this division. The Cardinals, minus 40 run differential almost. You have the Cubs, who have been pretty inconsistent. They blow games late. And then you have the Pirates, whose offense is anemic. And outside of their starting pitching staff, I'd say they don't have too much going on for them at this very second. So, yeah, I think the Brewers are going to win this game probably by 7.5+ games.
All right, Reed?
Yeah, the Milwaukee Brewers, we always look at them and we say, like, this team isn't very good. I'm not afraid of this lineup. And I'm looking at it right now, and I just, like, every piece that they need to be good has been good. Christian Yelich, who had fallen off for a couple years, is once again batting .330. He's got an OPS plus near 160. Like, he's a great player. Rhys Hoskins, who has been their first baseman, who has been their big free agent signing, has hit exactly what you'd expect Rhys Hoskins to hit. He's going to hit around 30 home runs. He's going to bat about 220. He strikes out a lot, but it is what it is. Then you trade away Corbin Burns, and what do you get back? You get a Rookie of the Year candidate, of probably going to be an all-star third baseman in Joey Ortiz. Willie Adames is good. Bryce Terang's good. If they can get one more piece, if they can get Jackson Churio, who will be good eventually, if they can get him to turn around, then this team is going to walk away. The surprising part has really been their starting rotation hasn't been all that great. They're probably going to need another pitcher to really keep them as not only at the top of the NL Central, but to be contenders. I mean, they're doing this without Corbin Burns because he was traded away. They're doing this without Devin Williams, who has been one of the best closers in the league. And they're just a really well-run organization.
Yep, I'm also going to buy pretty much the exact same thing that Reed said. They've gotten production from pretty much all they can ask from anyone on their team. But at the end of the day, the Cardinals are in second place, and the Brewers have won 6 of 7 against the Cardinals. So I think that will continue, and I think that'll be the difference, and I think they'll win the division.
All right, last one as we close this out. Buy or sell NL Central Edition. Reed, not picking on your Cubs, but obviously in last place right now.
Thanks.
Buy or sell the Cubs finishing the season in last place. Buy or sell. Are the Cubs the worst team in the NL Central? Buy or sell?
So I am going to buy the Cubs finishing the season in last place, because if I sold it, it would mean the Reds are in last place.
Correct.
I don't want to buy that sentiment. So I'm going to buy the Cubs being in last place. I think these two teams are incredibly similar, and it's just going to come down to who gets hotter at the end of the year, who can find more consistency.
Every part of my being believes that the Reds are the worst team in this division as of today. But because Reed's in the room, I'm going to have to buy this. I think the Cubs are the worst team in the division. They will finish in last place. They will make Reed feel sad and mad. And I will look happy as the Reds finish this season 78 and whatever, as the Cubs finish 77 and whatever. So that's fine by me. As long as we're not in last, I don't care. Cubs are in last. They stink.
Man, Reed, who needs enemies when you got friends like that?
That's right. Listen, no, the Cubs aren't the worst team in the National League Central. I mean, this team is so weird. It's so weird because if you look at how their best bats were supposed to perform, they're doing that. Seiya Suzuki's been a pretty good hitter this year. Ian Happ has been a very good hitter this year. Cody Bellinger has been a little less than you expect him to be, but he still has an OPS plus at around 110. So you expect him to be better, but he's been a productive hitter. It's been two things. It's been the combined bats of Dansby Swanson and Christopher Morel, and it has been the bullpen. If they had half the amount of blown saves that they have right now, and if you take those for wins, this team is in first place in the National League Central. They've got great starting rotation. They've got a lineup that is pretty solid from top to bottom. I mean, when Dansby Swanson is batting 8-hole for you, I feel like that's a pretty decent lineup. If they can just find a little more production from Christopher Morel's bat, if they can find a little more production from the catching spot, and if they can find a bullpen, an arm, or just have the guys, all this young talent that they keep bringing up, if one of them can turn out to be a dominant relief back into the bullpen guy, this team can make the postseason. They can. So, no, I don't think that this is the worst team in the National League Central.
So you're saying you don't think the Cubs are the worst team in the National League Central. Who is the worst team in the National League Central?
It's a pretty easy one to answer there, and that's the Cincinnati Reds. And it's not because I don't believe in what this roster is going to be someday. It's what it is right now. When you're being propped up by constant AAA players, constant guys that have really had opportunities to make it into the bigs and haven't found their footing, guys like Mike Ford, guys like the pieces that they keep bringing up, then when you're being propped up by that because of injuries, because of suspensions, then no, this team just isn't very good. I think that they've had some surprising things. I think that anyone that doesn't talk about Ellie De La Cruz like an absolute delight is foolish, because he has been that. He's been one of the best 5 players in the National League, in the major leagues. Hunter Green has turned into the ace that you expect him to be. Can they get help from other places? And I just don't see that with the current roster makeup. So I think they're the worst team in the National League Central.
All right, as we wrap up the segment, Jimmy, buy or sell, Cubs finish the season last place in the NL Central.
I'm also going to sell that the Cubs will finish last. I think the Cubs are going to finish third. I was looking at the standings, and there are only 2 games out of third place, and so I wanted to see what their kind of remaining schedules looked like for the rest of the season. And in terms of playing teams for the rest of the season, the Cubs have the easiest schedule left in the NL Central. I think that's going to help. I think their bats are going to get hot, and that they have great pitching. I think that the Pirates and the Reds, I think, will battle for last place. But I think what might bring it over the edge there is the Pirates have the 4th hardest remaining schedule in baseball. So
for my take,
Cardinals 5th place. I think that the Pirates are going to end up finishing last by maybe a game or a half game below the Reds, and I think that the Cubs will probably have like 2-ish games over the Reds and finish third.
All right, again, that was buy or sell NL Central Edition, and the bottom line is with all of those, we'll get a clear indication of the trajectory of the season for all these teams more 2 weeks from now, because 2 weeks from today is the 2024 Major League Baseball trade deadline. So the other thing, too, when it comes to the Reds, they could very well finish last if they do what many people anticipate them doing, which is, being sellers come the deadline. So we'll see what ends up happening when it's all said and done. Off the Bench, presented by United Dairy Farmers, Chatterbox Sports on YouTube, 1410 ESPN Radio in Dayton. All right, it sounds like this is a NBA segment, but it's not. But when we come back, there are two players doing something for the New York Knicks, and that we all need to be Knicks fans, because I'm always so curious why we are so obsessed with pulling for athletes to get every dollar that they have coming to them. Because at the end of the day, we don't know these athletes. They don't know us. They don't care if we have a bad day. They don't care if we get a big raise. They don't care if we have a raise rejected. They don't care about any of that. Why do we care if athletes get what they deserve, every dollar coming to them? I don't root for that. I don't care if that makes me a bad person. We'll talk about that when we come back. More Off the Bench presented by United Dairy Farmers next.
I have no idea how that transition works. It just it goes away and I can't cut out of it. Once it's up, it's up. And it just sits there for 10 seconds, which I like because it gives us a nice break. But I wish there was a timer or something like that. Once again, just trying to figure out how all this works. But we're going to do ads for a second. So, guys, thank you for tuning in today. We really appreciate every single one of you. I hope you guys had a good time watching the Home Run Derby last night. It certainly was entertaining, to say the least. If you haven't already, please give us a like. We really appreciate that. It helps us grow, helps us get to see more eyeballs on our product. So we really appreciate you guys. But we got to pay the bills around here so Jimbo can get his salary. Encore Technologies provides IT solutions for a data center world with a suite of services from mobile computing to desktop to data centers, supporting both centralized and work-from-home computing modules to improve efficiency and
Productivity.
That's right, Jimmy Productivity. Visit encore.tech. The path to innovation begins here. I'm going to try to do my Tom voice for this next one. Are you still drinking? I can't do it. The pride of Middletown. All right. Are you still drinking regular water? Did you know that alkaline water has been shown to have superior hydration benefits versus regular water in a clinical study? There's a new premium alkaline water out there, and it's Pawnee, and I got to tell you, this stuff tastes great. Made in Hamilton, Ohio, Pawnee uses natural limestone filtration, unlike the artificial processing that many other brands use. The result is a healthy alkaline water that is also the best tasting water in the world. The world! Please visit their website at pawneewater.com. That's PAHHNI water.com to see where you can buy this great tasting water at a store near you. You guys know what I love?
What do you love?
I love taking the guesswork out of buying tickets. And you know where you can do that?
No.
Game Time.
Wow.
Yep, that's right. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code OTB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem costs. OTB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed, and it shows you exactly where you're going to be sitting. It shows you exactly how much you're paying with the upfront pricing. There is no hidden fees. They tell you, hey, this is how much you're going to be spending on the ticket, and that's why Game Time is the best. It's the best in the world, just like Pawnee Water, just like Encore Technologies. We have the best sponsors. Thank you so much to Game Time, Encore, and Pawnee.
You can go to FC Cincinnati tomorrow night for just $45.
$45
Look at
to
that.
go see.
We say no sports going on.
That's right.
FCC.
FCC, most important sports team in the world.
What's FCC stand for, Jimmy?
Football Club Cincinnati.
That's right.
Who's their best player? Because Jimmy always says his name wrong.
Lucho Acosta.
There you go.
Got it this time.
You got
How does he
it.
normally say it?
Acosta.
Mm.
Like a roller coaster. Like a roller coaster.
Like he's
I mean, come on,
like
what
he's
are
like
you
from Boston. Like he's from Boston. He's got a drink on the table, and he's like, "Hey, get a Costa for it.
Yeah.
get a Costa for it." All right,
Dunkin' Donuts.
Justin, do you have a good Boston accent?
I do not.
Do you have any accents in your repertoire?
No. I mean, I come from a Hispanic family, so I guess I could try to do the Hispanic accent. So, but I think that's kind of cheating.
Probably it is.
Yeah.
You know? Are you familiar with the deceased former president James Madison? Because I can do a pretty good impression. Reed knows my impression of Jim.
He has a really, really good.
You know what he sounds like, right?
No, I do not.
Well, no. Why? Everybody knows what he sounds like.
I'm about to find out. Let's
Who
hear
knows
it.
what James Madison
All right, let me get into
sounds
character.
How do
here.
you guys not know who James Madison?
I'm James Madison, everybody. Whoopee.
What?
I have a hard time believing that's what we.
That's what he sounds like. Go back to the archives. That's how he led a nation.
Is this real?
I'm
That's
dead
exactly
serious.
What he sounds like.
I'm
'Cause as we know,
surprised
we
you guys
have
don't know what he
audio
sounds like.
recordings from the 1700s, so we
Was
know
he 1700s?
so we know exactly what James Madison. I think he was the author of the Constitution.
Good for him.
I think
thought that was TJ.
Thomas Jefferson. He wrote the Declaration of Independence. Did
That
he
all
also
runs
write the
together.
Constitution?
It all runs together.
It's about 15 years between the two.
Say,
so-
man. Well, you think I know Brad Osmus? 15 years.
You should. No, Brad Osmus.
What year was the Constitution ratified?
Ratified? What, like 77? 78?
It was. I think it was 89.
89?
We went like a decade. We went like 12 years before we had the Constitution. We were just like, hey, we'll just be a country, but not really. Everyone just makes their own money, does their own thing.
That's good.
And then we said like, hey, let's be. This is where Alexander.
Hey,
Hamilton-
look, Alex. Cut it out. He said Alabama education. I didn't study the Constitution.
When you
in
went to
college,
Alabama,
Alex.
did they talk about did they talk about U.S. history between 1861 and 1865?
Believe it or not, I didn't take a U.S. history class at Alabama.
Did you do what the other athletes did, just not go to class, or what?
Yeah. Me and Jalen Milrow were on the same schedule, but I think he has a little bit more going for him in the future.
Really? Really? You don't think he's looking at you saying, I wish I was there?
Maybe he is. Maybe he is. We'll
So they
see.
didn't teach you about the War of Northern Aggression from 1861 to
Oh
65?
no, we had Northern aggression classes. We had Northern aggression.
I was
classes.
gonna say it's funny. It's funny. We say history is written by the victors, not so much down there in the south.
No.
Drew has another spirit cat.
What's he
I was-
have?
I was
What's he
saying
have? Elliot, what's he have, dude?
I was going
What's-
to say spirit cat, who's here in the chat, and then I was going to say super chat. He says, how much for Elliot's Trump impression for 4 minutes? I don't got a Trump.
You don't?
No, I'm not. My Trump's not good.
You don't have a Trump one, but you have James Madison?
Yeah.
Jimmy, I don't know if you got the bit, Jimmy. That wasn't an impression of James Madison.
No, but like,
I didn't know if you understood that.
but why?
But why?
Yeah. I didn't understand why he was doing it in the first place. It's okay. It's not
Do we
a
have to
big deal.
explain jokes to you?
No.
Jimmy Bits might be going by the wayside here. He might not be getting it.
I think Trump might have something to say about Elliot here in about 2 minutes if someone could just
Once
stall.
your AI app
Yeah.
loads.
If someone could just stall for 2 more minutes,
Well,
we'll have a response.
I'll
from-
do an inside the show. So just for you know, we have gone over on several segments.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna try to like cut it down in the last 2 here.
Yep.
Just so we're clear. What we're gonna. I think we're
But
gonna.
how
do
are we
like-
going to squeeze in
I think we're
all
doing
the
like
sports?
11-minute segments.
We
I don't
have
know.
so much
I don't know.
news.
Sean Connor's making fun of the viewership today. By the way, thank you for watching. I know there is no sports whatsoever in the entire world, but thank you for tuning in. Even Mouse Cop is making fun of us. But at the end of the day,
So he's back.
He
He is
is.
We
back.
got a mouse problem again?
He is back. But yeah, listen. If you thought I could talk anything about any sport that happened yesterday, you're wrong. There was no sports whatsoever. None. Zero. Zilch.
We'll have the Trump AI thing.
I
tomorrow.
was just trying to stall.
You
You
did
guys,
great.
You guys
We'll have
want to go to
that tomorrow.
FCC tomorrow?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
Just thought I'd ask.
Thanks, though, Jimmy.
All right, we can come back now. I have something lined up for this one. We're good. We're
All right.
good. The viewers are going to go up.
Okay.
Let's
They
let's
can't
Go down.
let's
Yep.
do this stinger that I don't know quite how it works. You ready? We're gonna
see the whole
walk
thing.
away, right? Oh, hang on. It comes from. It comes.
Oh,
All right, let's try this. Ready?
athletic position.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
You just stay in the corner.
Oh, look, we're back.
We're at the whim of the stinger.
I mean, I wonder
The,
what we
the
do. during
stinger's
the
in
break.
control.
I wonder what we do during the break. Quick question. Why, and welcome back, by the way, Off the Bench, presented by United Dairy Farmers, Chatterbox Sports on YouTube, 1410 ESPN Radio in Dayton. And with you guys being Bengals fans, and obviously the Bengals, after drafting well for years, obviously time to start paying these guys. You know, T. Higgins, yesterday was the deadline to get an extension done. That deadline came and went and all that, and we know he's playing on the franchise tag. I don't think that's really a big talking point, but got me to thinking. We talk so much about anticipating what the guys are going to make. Jamar Chase is up next, man. And I have a serious question. We could talk about what we think he's going to make. We know what the market is for Jamar Chase at wide receiver, and I think that he's going to reset the market again the way Justin Jefferson just did. And it's just, obviously CeeDee Lamb next up as he's looking to get his contract done, this, that, and the other. But I do have a serious question. I have no clue why we as fans pull for these guys to get every dollar that comes to them. Because selfishly, the more that they get paid, the more that does technically impact what we ultimately want as fans, which is for our team to win. Right? And we do know, like baseball is a little bit different without the salary cap, but we know that in football, all right? I mean, I was amazed that when Joe Burrow got that he was made the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. And this isn't a shot at Joe Burrow. I'm just using your guys' team. I just want to set that disclaimer out there, okay? And we see it all the time. When Joe Burrow got that contract, Bengals fans, everyone, man, he deserved it. I'm so happy for him. I'm here to tell you, fans, if he's allowed to be, and he's not selfish for taking every dollar that comes to him, but we know the cause and effect of when a quarterback takes every dollar that comes to him, what that does for a team. This isn't a Joe Burrow topic. I'm just localizing it with your guys' team. We know as a fan, selfishly, what we want out of our team is to win a championship. And we know that every time that a player takes the top dollar, it makes our goal of winning a championship that much more difficult. Now, we could sit here and say, well, the front office just needs to do this and just needs to do that. That's great. We know what they need to do, all right? But we also know how much more difficult it does become to do that and accomplish those goals. I just need to know, why do we applaud? Why do we care? Why do we think it's a good thing when athletes make every dollar that they have coming to them whenever it does hurt our main goal of watching our team win a championship? I'm not saying you need to boo Joe Burrow. I'm not saying you need to boo Jamar Chase when he becomes the highest paid wide receiver in football. And I think two things could be true. They deserve it, right? Like, they deserve it. But I don't know why I care about that. I really do not care. Joe Burrow will not call any of you in this room if you ever get a raise or ever get a higher paying job. He's not going to be like, man, Jacob Tissett from Grip It and Rip It. Good for you, buddy. Good for you, pal. No, he's going to be getting a haircut, all right? He's going to be walking down a runway somewhere with a jacket with a hole in the back. He's going to be playing chess. He's going to be playing his piano. He don't care. Why do we care? We could be fans of these guys without actually having to say, I hope you take every dollar that's coming your way, which is going to make it difficult for my team to win a championship. Joe Burrow's not selfish. One more time on that disclaimer, but I am curious. Why do we as fans pull for our athletes to get every dollar that's coming to them, knowing that it's going to make it hard to win a championship?
I just root for players. Like, I'm a fan of the Bengals, obviously, first and foremost, but I'm a fan of Joe Burrow as well. And I think I was rooting for him to get a contract that matched his worth. I see quarterbacks that are, in my opinion, worse than Joe Burrow getting paid X amount of money, and I want him to be paid ahead of that. Not necessarily because I care about how much money he's making, but for narratives and discussions, I would think if I think he's the best quarterback in the league, I want him to be paid like it.
I'm on the same boat as Jacob. I think if I'm cheering for my guy to be paid, it's because he's playing well, and I like to see my guys play well. So that's what it comes down to. And Jacob's right. As much as we do cheer for our teams, the guys on our teams are equally as important. Joey Votto is no longer Red. Joey Votto's still my guy. He'll always be my guy because he played for the Reds. And would I like to see Joey play this season for the Blue Jays and cheer for his success? Maybe he gets another Sure, I don't mind cheering for somebody else because he was a former Red. Cheering for guys to get paid. Granted, you are right. No athlete would ever cheer for us to get paid. But it's just part of the team dynamic. It's the sports dynamic. It's what makes it fun. It's as much as sports are sports. It's also a reality show. When you tune into the, God knows, Robin Big or the Kardashians or any other reality show you can think of.
Hold on, you didn't know Flubber? Were you dropping Robin Big that's been dead for a long time?
Robin Big was before 1990.
I know that, but I'm just saying.
No. It was after 1990. Robin Big was closer to my era. Anyway, you cheer for the people on your team like they're your own family. It's just what it is.
You are right. You are right.
I'm not taking shots. No, I promise.
You are right when it comes to football because you're right. When guys get paid a certain amount of money, it does limit your opportunity to spend that money for other things, right? Like when Joe Burrow is taking up $60 million, $55 million, whatever it is, it does limit your capacity to keep a T. Higgins, for instance. But if you're asking me why we care about the what players make. It's why do we care about these players at all? It's the same question, and it's because they play for the team. And believe it or not, I'm not gonna live my life. And you brought up the point where you said Joe Burrow's not gonna care if I get a raise. I don't want good things to happen to people because I expect to have good things happen to me. I don't like living life that way. I think karma is kind of a sham in that situation where it's like if the only reason you think good things or want good things to happen to people is because hopefully someday good things happen back to you, that's not a good way of going about it. But as for athletes, it is just a way that we go. Like we see Joe Burrow has brought this franchise to this city, excited this city, electrified this city in a way that I've never seen before. And because of that, I want him to get the money that I see other players get paid. If that's the going rate for a franchise quarterback, for a quarterback that can win a Super Bowl, because I believe Joe Burrow can win a Super Bowl, then that's what he should get paid. And if he doesn't get that, I'm going to be upset. When it comes to baseball, though, I don't care what players make. Everyone always wants to make fun of my Chicago Cubs because they have a $230 million payroll. I don't care. I don't care. Because guess what? There's still going to be 40,000 people showing up to Wrigley Field. Win, lose. Once the summer hits, 40,000 people are going to be there. So I don't care what players get paid because it ain't my money. You are right when it comes to football, though, because it does handcuff you for certain players.
Yeah, I'm kind of I look at it just how those players, how their success made me feel, how they made the city feel, because like I live and die by watching my favorite teams play, and a lot of the time I'm going to kind of cling to a player. Bengals fans obviously cling to Joe Burrow and believe that he deserves the most amount of money possible, and I think like I would agree with that. I feel the same way about my favorite team, about Jared Goff, where where people across the league may think that, oh, he doesn't deserve that money, he's not that good, he's a system quarterback. But at the end of the day, he took a team that hadn't been nearly anywhere in 30 years and won a division, won a playoff game for the first time in a new building that had been open for over 20 years, and made the NFC Championship game and almost won it. And I think no matter what, because he made me feel something that I had never felt before as a fan of a team, that I want him to get paid however much they can afford to pay him.
Who's your favorite musician?
My favorite musician?
Just give me someone you like.
Just go with Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan. Like, do you want to see Zach Bryan win Grammys? It doesn't affect your life or anything like that, but don't you just want to see him because he has given you some sort of benefit in your life listening to his music?
I don't not want to see it. I mean, yeah. To be fair, yes. Okay. I do want to see it. Yes.
So it's just like they give us something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Joe Burrow gets me through Sundays in the fall. Gets me excited on Sundays. In return, I hope he gets paid $60 million. Zach Bryan, he's made me think in ways that I've never thought before. I hope that he wins Grammys. I hope that he continues to go on stadium tours. It's a give and take thing.
So that example right there, Zach Bryan, he gets an award. That's great. But him getting an award doesn't cost someone like, all right, he gets that award, but that means Luke Combs can't tour for a year. Well, that sucks. So, man, I really got to question. I really like Luke Combs, too. So I got to start questioning. When Joe Burrow gets paid, you're losing T. Higgins. So I guess the question, the next part of this, too, with Jamar Chase coming up to become the highest paid wide receiver in football. All right, I look at this New York Knicks situation, okay? I don't really care about the Knicks, okay? But I'm just using them as an example. Jalen Brunson left $113 million on the table. Now, let's be real here. There are pay cuts. There are taking less. There are taking home. Then there's this. Then there's this level. But what he ultimately ended up doing now is you have another star player on the Knicks, and Mikal Bridges, who is also now, because he sees Brunson taking a pay cut, who is putting winning first. All right. Now, as they work out their contract negotiations, he is also getting prepared to take a major pay cut as well, with the goal being to put more money in the pot to help the Knicks go out and add more weapons to solidify them as championship contenders. Now, the reason I said, hey, I'm going to become a big Knicks fan pulling for this moving forward, because I think in copycat leagues, when one team does something, like we kept trying to figure out, we were talking about the Cardinals earlier. What is it about? What do they do? Like, we want to know what they do so that we could so our team can just replicate it. Do what they do, right? The Patriot way. What people kept trying to figure out what the Patriot way was, or was it the Tom Brady way, or whatever. We want to see a blueprint to success so that we can look at our team and say, hey, they're doing what that team is doing, and I feel good about the direction of our franchise. So if the Knicks do that and it leads to a championship, there's going to be a lot of teams in the NBA that are like, all right, we know that the salary cap, we know that the going rate for a LeBron or for a Kevin Durant, or I know there's new players coming up through the ranks now, obviously, with those older players, talking about the younger ones now. But like, okay, cool, we could give you all of that, but if we give you all of that, we're not going to be able to get a lot of help. Look what the Knicks did. Look what they did. And it's the same thing with this Cincinnati Bengals conversation. I know when Jamar Chase, I'm not going to lie to you, as a Browns fan, I was really starting to fear that what Jamar Chase was saying was true, was that Joe Burrow was going to take less money. And Joe Burrow taking less money, which means that they get to keep T. Higgins and keep Jamar Chase, and they're going to have more money if those guys take less too, to keep, adding weapons to the O-line, and they're just going to be a pain in my ass for quite some time. I'm not saying that they're not going to be good moving forward, but it's going to be a lot more challenging. All I'm saying is I am pulling for the Knicks. I am pulling for this model, because the bottom line is I don't care how much these guys make unless what they make impacts what I want, and I want my team to win a championship. My team winning championships becomes a lot harder when you're taking every dime that's coming to you. Yes, I am a fan of a team that has a quarterback that has every dime that is coming to him as far as that's concerned, which means you better win a damn Super Bowl. You better start backing it up as far as that's concerned. But to close out this segment, Jamar Chase, I kind of know this answer now. You're actually saying I am pulling for him to get every dime coming to him, because it's one thing to have your quarterback being the highest paid quarterback in the league, but to have the highest paid quarterback in the league and the highest paid wide receiver, that's cool, because all the stuff about the Bengals, they're cheap, right? This totally blows up that whole dumb narrative. I've never said that they're a cheap organization, by the way, but this kind of blows that up, right? And it would be ironic enough that it's the Cincinnati Bengals of all teams that have the highest paid quarterback and wide receiver on the same roster. But I also know the problems that's going to create for that, roster construction moving forward. So you're saying I don't think you're a bad fan if you say you're not pulling for it. You're making it sound like you're only a good fan if you pull for them to get that contract.
I don't think it's binary good fan, bad fan. I don't like to call anyone a bad fan for just having a different opinion than me. But I am actively rooting for Jamar Chase to beat Justin Jefferson's contract. I want him to be the highest paid receiver in the league, because I think he's better than Justin Jefferson. Ooh. And I think that's the tangible way to put it down, his contracts. Yeah, no, I would take Jamar Chase over Justin Jefferson, and I'm okay saying that.
Here's what's interesting about being a fan is I get to be happy regardless of the Jamar Chase extension. Right. Because he will get an extension. He's the highest paid guy. We got the highest paid wide receiver in the league. In that, there's a little bit of status that comes with that. If he takes well below the pay, well below that, we got Jamar Chase on a steal. Look at us. We're the smartest franchise in the league. It's a really cool spot to be in when you get that situation, and you don't get that a whole lot. So I'm just going to be happy with regardless of what happens.
Yeah, no, it would certainly, don't get me wrong, it'd be great to get Jamar Chase at $15, $20 million a year. I would throw a party, but that's just that's less realistic. So I think it's the same way as I'm not banking on the Reds winning the Central anymore. I'm not banking on Jamar Chase getting a $20 million contract. I'm going to root for the thing that's a little bit more likely, or at least put all my eggs in that basket. And I think that would be him, getting $35 million or whatever that is, and I'd be happy with it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as these guys. I think I'm fine with it. I don't care.
Mouse Cop asked you a very interesting question.
I'm not going to respond to it.
It's a good question. He said, if I actually hated you, do you think I'd tune in every day?
I thought you were referring to the other one.
I thought you were referring to the other one.
So did I.
Oh. I only read about 2 up at a time. So if I miss something, I'll go back and figure that out. But all right, we'll step away for a few moments. How about that? That was a sports topic conversation. We doing good? Was that good? We kind of rallied back together there?
I love it.
Right? Okay, cool. We'll be right back. More of Off the Bench presented by United Dairy Farmers. Chatterbox Sports on YouTube, 1410 ESPN Radio in Dayton. Oh, look, we're back.
Hey!
Off the Bench, presented by United Dairy Farmers, Chatterbox Sports on YouTube, 1410 ESPN Radio here in Dayton. Major League Baseball All-Star Game tonight. Of course, Reds off for the week until Friday at least, and then that's when we're off. So the Reds are off all week until Friday, and then we're on all week until Friday. That matched up perfectly. Perfectly.
It did. It really did.
So,
helped us all out.
It did. All right, so we did buy or sell a little bit ago. We'll do a little news, not news here. All NFL headlines. Again, some teams reporting for camp already. Some rookies reporting for camp already. And we're getting closer and closer, and I can't tell you how excited I am. I cannot tell you how excited I am for NFL season to finally get here. No doubt about it. But, all right, news, not news. Let's get it started. Jordan Addison. Vikings wide receiver arrested on suspicion of drunken driving. Again, these are those types of off-season headlines that all coaches dread and fan bases dread because it's like we're so close to the start of the season. You don't want your players to make mistakes, but yet here we are for the Minnesota Vikings. Of course, everyone talks so much about Justin Jefferson, but another key wide receiver in that passing attack too is Jordan Addison. News, not news. Jordan Addison arrested on suspicion of drunken driving.
I think this is usually news, but with the way professional sports have gone now,
Yep.
I mean, I'd be shocked if he got a suspension or anything. So I guess it's not news.
It's not news for that exact reason. Nobody cares about these crimes anymore. It's just another par for the course for the NFL. They'll hide this immediately. Nobody will ever speak of it again. Nobody will mention it unless it happens another time. And then maybe somebody will get involved.
I did see a Vikings fan on Twitter quote tweeted the drunk driving charge with his own drunk driving charge and said, "This isn't a big deal. Everyone does it." And I was like, that's
Crazy.
the craziest take I've seen
Crazy.
of all time.
I think the NFL, you get a signing bonus and then you get a free DUI. I think that's
whatever else.
I think that's what you get, and I think it's terrible. But
Oklahoma State's coach approves.
That's right. Maybe
he's done it hundreds of thousands of times, millions upon millions.
I was just going to say it is alarming how frequent these stories are coming out. When we made about this, it's not a joke. I was like, I guess I was poking fun. But I was like, are cops cracking down on celebrities now? Because these stories are coming out all the time.
It's the deep state.
And here's what's interesting, because I've seen, if we want to tie this back about to the Cincinnati Bengals, is there's a kind of an opinion that this Bengals camp is very loud, right? Trey Hendrickson wants a trade. T. Higgins wants a trade. T. Higgins doesn't sign the extension. What's going to happen with Jamar Chase? All these things. You know what we haven't had that used to be a problem here in this town was a lot of legal issues, a lot of things that come off the field. We haven't really had that. We don't do. You look at what the Kansas City Chiefs have done. Kansas City Chiefs won back-to-back Super Bowls. They've had more noise than the Bengals have. They've had these problems. They've had other problems of the sort like this. So I will take contract disputes over legal issues any day of the week when it comes to my favorite teams.
News, not news, Jimmy.
I mean, I think it's legal issues are certainly news. I don't know. I think it's disappointing to see all these legal issues coming up for athletes, and that I don't really have much else to say on it personally.
Well, it's kind of like what you guys talked about. It's this, and by the way, it sets people up to say things that we have to put out a disclaimer.
Right.
I'm saying it's not news. Not because I don't think getting a DUI is a big deal. That is a big deal, but I don't think we always need to say that. I think we can all agree that that's a big deal. But from a sports perspective, this is only news if this leads to a suspension.
Right.
Then it's news
Yeah.
that the Vikings are without their number 2 wide receiver. The same way if T. Higgins got in trouble and would be suspended for 2 or 3 games, that's a big deal. That's a big deal
Absolutely.
if the number 2 wide receiver is suspended for 2 or 3 games. So not news right now, but if something comes out of this where he does have to miss time or a suspension, then that's news. But yeah, not news. Not because we don't think it's a big deal that he got a DUI, but because we know how this works in sports, as you guys alluded to.
It's crazy that we've reached a point now in professional sports where you see a guy of a stature like Jordan Addison get a DUI, and you're just like, yeah, it's not going to matter. Like,
it doesn't matter
he's
at all.
going to be at training camp next week. He'll play week 1. It doesn't affect it. It used to be. I mean, it doesn't feel like that long ago. You'd see a player get a DUI, and you'd be like, what, is he going to miss 3, 4, 5 games?
Yeah.
Like, that's gone completely away.
Which is wild, too, because these stories are only continuing to come out more. I mean, you see the Georgia situation.
Yeah.
That's
27 vehicle tickets or issues since the fatal car wreck with Jalen Carter. 27. That's 2 years. That's insane.
And you think about Ruggs, who not a part of that, obviously, but a similar situation, too, that led to a fatality. So it's amazing all these things that are happening that, yes, do lead to newsworthy type of stuff.
For
and
sure.
The league just doesn't crack down because there's no pressure as far as that's concerned. All right, news, not news, continuing on. How about this? Caleb Williams and Adunze both have yet to sign their rookie contracts. Now, they both, unless something has happened during the show that I have not seen. Okay, you're shaking your head. Good. When I saw that look, I was like, oh, maybe I missed this.
They haven't.
So they have yet to sign their rookie contracts, which is interesting. Again, rookies report today and tomorrow. Camp opens up this coming up weekend for the Bears. But news or not news that your 2 biggest rookie signings have yet to sign their rookie contract from a Bears perspective. News, not news.
I'm going not news, and I've been not news on this for a while, but we are getting really close
to
to
newsworthy.
news. We are getting dangerously close to it being news. This has been an issue since, first-round picks were signing their contracts a day, 2 days after the draft in some cases.
Yeah.
So this obviously bubbled up probably a week or two after the draft when they were in that last lingering group. And now I believe they're the last 2 first-round picks to sign. So, like you said, rookies are reporting here, today and tomorrow? Yeah, if they're not there by, next week probably, you're talking about a big-time news story, but I'm going to give them a couple more days. There's no way they don't sign. There's just no way they don't sign.
I'm gonna say not news while hoping it's news.
It'd be fun news.
I hope it is news and they don't sign. That would be very, very fun to me. But I do think there's just something going on behind the scenes that we don't know, and it'll be fixed by the time the season starts.
They were both at training camp or optional training camp, before mandatory stuff, and then they both did media day with Bears gear and everything like that. So if there was an Eli Manning situation or whatever happening with Caleb Williams, I think it would have taken place already. I think we're well deep into the Bears part of his career now. Obviously it's only been a couple months, but he's doing the paw, he's wearing the hoodies, he's wearing the jerseys and everything like that. So I don't think there's any animosity between him and the organization, but we are getting close to it being news.
Does it come down to, do you think, fully guaranteed? And again, you guys are alluding to, we don't really know what the reason is. I'm just curious what that would be. Caleb Williams is one of those 2 where he seems to be very in control of his image and pushing, trying to show that, hey, I'm in control of these negotiations type thing. If Odunze not signing it yet, you want that to be the case. The big thing with the Bears over the years is their quarterback has not had help. And that was a big-time second draft pick to be able to pair up with Caleb Williams. But anytime you're dealing with the quarterback, whether he's proven himself or not, you know that the whole perception of the team is based around what happens with the quarterback. We're not there yet. It's not news yet, but I think it will become very newsworthy if we head into the weekend when camp opens up and your starting quarterback's not there and it's a rookie on top of that. I think we're on the verge of it being news. What say you?
I think this is news. I really do think that this is news, and the reason I believe it is because something is happening there. Just because we don't know all the details doesn't make it news. Something is happening there, whether it be that they're not very comfortable, the Bears aren't, with what their players are asking, or that there's discord amongst the ranks there. Either way, this is news. We're going to need more information to give educated takes on it, but this is absolutely news. Hey, do I think Caleb Williams and Odunze will be there? Yeah, and then they're going to sign a contract at some point. But it's clearly weird that something is happening here. So yeah, I think this is news.
Yeah, I don't think it's news. I think they'll both sign. I think it'll probably end up being some part of the Hard Knocks thing, the show coming out.
Are you woke on this?
Yeah, I'm woke on it.
Is this an episode 1 storyline?
Are you like the Alex Jones of Chatterbox? Are you saying it's a conspiracy theory? All right, are you calling out that it's actually probably done behind the scenes, but HBO has kind of encouraged them not to sign it just to lead to a little animosity, curiosity heading in? I like that.
Just say Jimmy Conspiracy. Just say it goes all the way to the top. It goes.
No,
Fluoride in the water.
Fluoride in the water.
Just put some food coloring in it. Sorry, Jimmy, my bad.
No, I certainly think it would be. I think it would be awesome if it was news, personally, because I don't like the Bears, and I hope maybe that there's some massive disconnect there between those 2 players and that organization, that maybe Caleb Williams sees that they failed to produce good quarterbacks ever. But no.
And maybe they'll see that he failed to deliver anything worthy in college, too, and
that's
then
true.
It'll be a matchup made in heaven.
Crybaby Caleb, but we'll see. I don't think it'll end up being anything.
There's an article from BearsTalk.com that released this morning at 11:30, so about 15 minutes ago, that said there's an expectation that Odunze and Williams will report for training camp today for rookie minicamp. They wouldn't be able to participate unless they signed, so maybe they're just going to sign right before practice today or something like that.
Well, there you go. Justin, I don't know your opinion on Caleb Williams, because everyone's got an opinion on him. Do you have an opinion on Caleb Williams that you're willing to share?
When you have an offensive coordinator / head coach, one of the best offensive minds in all of college football at 2 different college football powerhouses, and you play with all this NFL talent around you, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I know the deficiencies of his teams really came on the defensive side of the ball, but there were big games where he came up short in. I never bought into the Caleb Williams hype. I think he's very, very good. Very, very good. And he was worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. People keep putting him in this generational category like we saw with Joe Burrow coming out of college, like we've seen with Andrew Luck, like we've seen with, Baker Mayfield was a better college quarterback to me than Caleb Williams. I'm not a big Caleb Williams guy. I'm not. I'm really not. And it's not because the Browns drafted Baker, I promise. I've always been a very big Baker Mayfield fan from a college perspective, no doubt.
Do you think that the Bears should have stayed with Fields and traded away that first pick? Or
no, because I never bought into Fields either.
Okay. This is nuance. There's some nuance there to this. I think Caleb Williams has a weird. I think people have weird opinions about Caleb Williams. So I think he's incredible. And I think he's going to be incredible. So
and maybe he is. So I guess what rubbed me the wrong way is a reporter asked him something about after a bad game and. He said, "You know who I am? Google me." And from that point on, I've hated him ever since.
See, I love that kind of stuff. I love the confidence.
Legendary segment from Griffin and
No,
Rippin.
it is a legendary segment.
Flashbacks.
You're right. Yeah,
Dude, got chills.
Yeah, I'm a huge Caleb guy. I think Caleb's a better prospect than Burrow was coming out of college.
All right, we're out of time, but quickly on the way out, news not news. This one's for you, Jimmy.
Okay.
Lions to induct ex-wide receiver Calvin Johnson into the pride of the Lions. News not news.
Oh, wow.
Of course that's news. I mean, Calvin Johnson is one of the best receivers of all time. I'm glad to see that they're acknowledging him. I'm really glad to see that they're kind of mending that relationship that was a very ugly ending, and he hadn't been around for a while. But he's back. He was at the playoff games this year. He was supporting the team. I think he is kind of realizing that, like, how much Lions fans really adore him and all he did for an organization that was very bad when he was around. And I'm glad to see he's back, and I hope that he stays around.
He's kind of like Corey Dillon. He waited for the team that he left to become good again, and then all of a sudden wanted to start kissing the fans' behinds. But yes, no doubt. No, look, I'm a big Calvin. That sucked that he retired so prematurely too in his prime and all that stuff. So
what? Doing Corey Dillon strays in the show?
Yes.
What are we doing?
He had all these years to sit here and be like, "Hey, I enjoyed my time with the Bengals." This, that. He waits till they're good, and it's cool to be a former Bengal, and now all of a sudden wants to take advantage of that. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
Do you hate Munoz too? What do we got?
No, I love Munoz. I love Munoz.
Just kidding.
I love Munoz as far as that goes. But that Angel Reese, though, that's where I draw the line.
We need a stray. We need a list of Kinner's strays during the show.
Votto,
Kettering
Reese,
City Workers, Reese.
Corey Dillon.
Yeah.
Corey Dillon.
It's the list
Flubber.
goes on and on.
Flubber,
No, I love Flubber. That was one of my favorite movies growing up. I thought that's how I was going to be able to jump high.
Robin Williams.
Reach things on the top shelf.
Kenner hates Robin Williams.
Love Robin Williams.
Admit you hate him.
R.I.P. in peace. Love Robin Williams. Yeah, I know. That's
Stand
two
on my
of those.
desk.
It's two of those.
Huh?
Stand on my desk.
Stand
Robin
on my-
Williams.
Oh, I
Society.
see.
All right, for the radio
Great
portion of this,
Great
we
movie.
are done. Thank you for
Top
tuning
3.
in. This has been Off the Bench, presented by United Dairy Farmers, Chatterbox Sports on YouTube, 1410, ESPN Radio in Dayton.
No, Robin Williams.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go on.
Y'all take it from here. Right? We good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I start going.
Oh, we're still here. Would you look at that? Who would have thought?
Thanks, Kinner.
See you guys. Appreciate you. I got my other job to do. Sorry.
That's right.
Bye, pal.
See ya.
See you, Kinner.
I'm leaving 10 minutes early.
Yeah, show up late, leave early. What's new?
Shut up on time.
Yeah. Jacob, any parting
Elliot?
thoughts?
Well, it's usually your job.
Okay.
There was nothing that happened yesterday.
I'm
I know
trying.
we've beat that dead horse.
I'm
but
trying. I'm
Boy,
trying.
oh boy. If you can milk more than 20 minutes out of the home run derby, I would love to see you try.
So we do have some housekeeping things. We will get you something on Friday, but because we have a big weekend, we are doing the Ohio Challenge in Middletown that brings money to the company so that we can have jobs. So we got to do that. We're setting that up on Friday, as well as setting up on our Chatterbox subscription for all of our broadcasts. We will be doing the Ohio Little League State Championship here in Hamilton. So if you're a Little League fan, as most Hamiltonians are. That'll be all next week, but we've got to set that up. So there will be no show Friday. We're going to try and give you guys some sort of content, whether that be we might pull the strings that is Nicholas Kirby. We might do something here to figure out ways to get you guys something on Friday, but don't worry about that. There will be something, just there won't be the typical show. So yeah, thank you guys. Also, thank you everyone that watches. As always, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Really appreciate you guys. I am excited about the All-Star game. You guys say you guys aren't very excited about it.
Don't care about it at all. I will not be watching a single second of it.
I might
Unless
turn it on.
if I turn it on and somebody texts me, hey, Ellie's at the plate, then I'll turn it on.
I'll flick through it when Hunter gets on the mound.
Or if Hunter gets on the mound and they say, hey, Elliot Hunter's on the mound, I'll flip it on for that. And then we'll flip it right back off. I just don't care. I wish I cared, but I don't care. The result means nothing. Nobody's in there for more than a half inning. So what are we really even cheering for?
See, I guess that's where why does the result need to mean something to tune in?
That's a fair take. I guess for me, it's just more like I want to root for something tangible.
Correct. They're sports. I watch
Well,
sports because they mean something. Every game matters. Every season matters. There's a result at the end that I'd like to accomplish. Achieve.
I guess. We made the bit about 45 times on this show that there's nothing going on. So in a world where nothing's going on, you can't look at a sport that we all love in this room.
Yeah, no,
that we all love, and the best players of that sport to celebrate are going to be playing off against each other, and we can't. It doesn't attract you. I guess that's just my opinion. Is just like if this can't draw you in with nothing else going on, then I don't know.
Yeah, to be completely honest, if NCAA didn't drop last night, I'd probably watch it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure I'm not gonna watch the All-Star game over playing that.
I'll just watch a TV show or a movie. I've been trying to watch The Equalizer.
I've heard that's good. Never seen it.
I heard that's good
It's
too.
been on my list for years.
So I'll probably watch that. Yeah, the All-Star game. It's just every All-Star game. They all mean nothing, and I watch none of them. And the only time I'll ever tune in for All-Star games is when they have the home run derby. I'll tune in for the dunk contest, even though it sucks. That's it. 3-point contest.
I'd say this is drastically the most likely All-Star game for me to tune in.
100%.
By
100%.
far.
It's not close at all.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just reading the temperature in the room. Like the fact that it used to be for the home field advantage in the World Series, that was enough to draw you in.
Yeah, there's a result that matters. There's something you're trying to accomplish.
I'm going to watch it, personally. But I want to see Screwball pitch. I want to see Riley Green getting at bat. I want to see Shohei go up against whoever. I mean, Burns to start, but I want to see Paul Skeens pitch against.
Right. Yeah. I like seeing these guys face off, and the thing that I also, I guess I've never thought about till right this moment is even when it did mean, like when it did determine home field advantage, I didn't care in the moment. Like it wasn't like I was like, oh, who's gonna get home field advantage watching the game? I watched the game because I wanted to watch the All-Stars play. Like it never was like, man, this means a lot. Because more often than not, I think I don't even remember if 2016 if it mattered, but like my team has won one pennant.
Yep.
Has won one pennant. So yeah, I don't know. It just even when it did matter, it didn't matter. I guess is what I'm getting at, which I think is a big part of why they turned away is because it's like, yeah, it did determine home field advantage, but like, was it pulling enough people in? It was a valiant effort. It was a valiant effort. But I like All-Star games.
If they played to win, I'd definitely watch.
Correct. Same. I also think my opinion on these matters has been skewed so drastically over the past 2 years when you work in sports media. I'm almost numb to watching sports that I don't truly when about. And it's just I just turn off my brain and want to do something else. I'll give you an example. When I tune in and I sit down at night for a Reds game, I'll always watch the Reds. But on weekend games, if it's like a Saturday, Sunday, I try not to pay too much attention to the Reds. I'll pay attention. I'll box score watch. But I'm not going to sit down every single out of weekend games anymore. It's just not in my nature. If I was just a fan and I had a more normal job, and I love this job, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's when you're in the sports media, it almost, unless you guys can feel differently, no doubt about it. But for me personally, I was never like sports is my number one thing. Like sports was never I love sports. I love it so much. I love the Reds. I love the Bengals. I love the Bearcats. Love them all. But saying that, I was able to watch it because it was enjoyable to me. It was my enjoyment, opposed to it just being my job and I have to pay attention to it. And sometimes it muddies the water a little bit. There would be points during this Red season where I certainly would not be watching. And it's just because I don't think they're very good. I have to watch every game for the most part because it's my job, and that's what I do. I used to listen to sports podcasts every day. I, of course, don't do that at all anymore. I used to listen to Pardon My Take Monday, Wednesday, no free ads, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Don't listen to them whatsoever. I still try to tune into a Dan Patrick thing every once in a while, but it's just kind of gone on the wayside. And in any sporting event that I don't need to watch, I'm not going to watch.
Is which of the big podcasts or the big sports shows? Dan Patrick. Dan doesn't even do sports much anymore. There's not a whole lot of like sports opinions coming out of there. It's almost like it's story time with Grandpa, and then just like some other people are in the thing. Like Dan Lebitard famously never did sports. Like it was a vaudeville show with like. Every once in a while, they'd give takes. I think Cowherd's the only one that actually does sports on a daily basis.
Speaking of Cowherd, did you see his clip yesterday?
I tweeted about. Yeah, this is
boy.
So I tweeted out because he was interviewing Derek Jeter. Colin, if you listen to Colin, and I like Colin a lot, so I like his opinions. But every once in a while, you can tell he's doing a token baseball thing.
He's not a baseball guy.
He's not, and I don't even think he attempts. No. To hide that.
But this was.
But let me get into this whole thing. So he's talking to Derek Jeter and he's like, "You're from the Nolan Ryan era," and Derek Jeter immediately went, "No," and I put out this tweet. Nolan Ryan made his debut in 1966, about 400 days after we started the war in Vietnam, about 3 years after JFK was assassinated, and Derek Jeter was playing baseball as recently as 2014. So no, they're not from the same eras. Though, Nolan Ryan did retire 2 years before Derek Jeter made his debut. So it's not like it would be like talking to Caleb Williams 10 years down the line and going like, "You're from the Tom Brady era." He's like, "No, I'm not." But it's like, it's not the craziest thing in the world to say because they were very close to overlapping. I did like how Colin, that whole clip's funny because he's like, "Not even an inning? You didn't play one time?" He was saving himself there. But yeah, Colin doesn't talk baseball. And when he does, I remember he used to do this bit about the Minnesota Twins, about the free agent signings. It was in 2019 when the Minnesota Twins broke the home run record. And they're like, "Man, see, they're not spending a bunch of money, but they're spending it smart." And I'm looking at the Minnesota Twins, and I was like, they haven't signed any of these guys. These guys are all guys that they brought up. Like, what are you talking about, Colin? That was a simple baseball reference search. What are we doing here?
Remember Colin did a trade draft picks bit a couple years ago.
Yeah, he's like, why don't you trade your draft picks? I won't blame. Here's what I'll also say. We beat up on sports commentators. Like Stephen A gets a lot of flack for the incorrect things he says, but it's like, dude, they pull that man's string. They pull his Buzz Lightyear action figure out as much as possible. Like, hey, you got to do 50 hours on ESPN this week. So yes, eventually you're going to talk about stuff that you're not very well educated in, and eventually you're going to say something stupid.
Let me ask you this: do you think a guy like Stephen A goes home and watches sports?
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, do you think
I would say so.
Like outside of his I'm talking like outside of his favorite teams.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's just because
he probably watches most basketball and nothing else.
Like Reed says, I think I would imagine it's hard for guys like that to go up there and give nuanced takes about every single sport, even though they don't probably know too much about baseball. Stephen A. talking about baseball is like me talking about the NBA. It doesn't make much sense. So it's like, it's brutal. It's brutal for some of those guys.
And it's not even localized like we are, where we focus on the Reds and the Bengals, and that they've talked about every team, every big happening, and that's why you see them resort to the Cowboys and the Lakers a lot.
Correct.
Because it's a little easier.
Colin Cowherd talking about baseball. Colin Cowherd's probably not a big baseball guy, so it's just one of those things.
Yeah, I get. Yeah. There's no doubt about. As for I very much sit in the same camp as you, Elliot. I didn't, outside of the Cubs and the Bengals. Like I didn't really, still don't watch a whole lot of college football.
Yeah, I don't watch. I
don't watch any college football.
This year, I'm hoping to change it, but yeah, I have not watched college football in a long time.
I don't. Yeah, because I'm normally doing something on a Saturday. But it's I don't know what we're trying to get out of this conversation.
There was
here,
another
but-
big sportscaster news that dropped yesterday. Skip Bayless's last episode on Undisputed.
Yeah, is he done?
I would be.
I think people
Hard
are
to imagine that he's
shocked at
done.
how old Skip Bayless is because he looks good for how old he is. He's like 70.
in great shape.
He's like 76.
Is he really?
72, which is still pretty old.
Wow.
Skip
Yeah,
Bayless.
Ernestine keeping him young.
That's right. Skip Bayless. I will say this: ESPN would be a fool not to give him an offer, right? Join First Take.
No, I don't think he's getting you anything new at ESPN. I think they're
Really?
trying to move away from that.
Oh my God, they should bring it back. That's how you get the show back.
Stephen A. is leaving First Take.
Is he?
It's Mad Dog.
What?
Starting like next year.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're trying to get rid of that whole like old guard at ESPN. Stephen A. Smith's going to focus on basketball. And do
Nothing
First
like getting
Take,
rid of the old
big
dog
days.
and bringing in Mad Dog Russo.
Yeah, right. I guess you're right.
Mad Dog Russo.
I like Mad Dog.
I do like Mad Dog.
Mad Dog's, Mad
Listen,
Dog's a clown.
I love Mad Dog.
Here's the thing. Everyone gets so mad at Skip Bayless and Stephen A. and Mad Dog Russo and all that stuff. Like, oh, these guys are clowns. They got the highest rated shows.
For sure.
People like watching that. You can say it's the WWE of sports talk, but yeah, this is in sports talk you're supposed to entertain people. And if you can't always, and that's why Colin, I think, is the best at his job because he literally every single day comes in with opinions and stuff like that and gives takes, and people are entertained by it. So I don't know. I mean, it's very much like if you watch our own content here, and if you watch Chatterbox Reds, you got Kirby who's giving the takes, and you got Trace who blows up and all these things, and it's the give and take. That's what we do here. That's what we got. But in short, I'm excited to watch the All-Star game. I like the All-Star.
You're making me want to watch it.
You should.
You're making me feel like I should watch it, actually, is how I should say it.
I mean,
should
you're good.
watch it.
You are going
So we can
to
talk about
see
it
because Skeens
We'll
will
do
go
that.
2 innings. Skeens will go 2 innings. So at the very least, you will see Paul Skeens face off against Gunnar Henderson, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Yordan Alvarez, and Jose Ramirez.
And
Why did they lead off Stephen
Kwan. Because he's probably gonna get a hit.
I know he leads
if
the league.
Manfred's going to step in
leads-
for Skeens, step in for this.
and once again, Stephen Kwan leads the league in batting average. Like he has
Batting
earned
fourth.
He has earned the right to be the leadoff man for the American League. But like, yeah, you got to go Gunnar Henderson, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
Juan Soto did say in an interview yesterday that he's 100% sure Aaron Judge will hit in the first inning.
Okay.
Really?
He's batting third. I think he was just saying he's going to get on base.
Probably because Stephen Kwan will also get on base.
Stephen Kwan will get on base, so it's fine. Yeah.
If I put an absurd amount of money on this game, then I'll watch. I might do that.
What if we just do that?
That'll get me in it.
Do you say if we just put an absurd amount?
Yeah.
How much? Is
It would have to take
Game
a
of the
hit.
year.
Yeah,
game of the year, the
the
All-Star?
National
game of the year, the NL.
NL run line plus 1.5.
Ew.
I might. Now we're
Plus
talking.
1.5
Bet
at
the
an
over?
All-Star game.
Now what's the over
Bet-
at?
it's like
9.5.
It's like
Eight even.
I'd take over 8. It always goes over, right?
No.
No.
No, hardly
it
ever,
never
actually.
goes over.
Really?
Pitchers are
It wasn't it
Like
like
the pitchers are the best pitchers in the league.
and
Wasn't
they're
it like
fresh.
3 to
They're
2?
throwing
an
pitch an
inning.
Yeah.
It was like 3-2 last year, or something like
That
that.
was like 5-5 recently, though, wasn't it?
Maybe
I'm
Colorado.
looking it up right now. You ready for the
Colorado
most
could've
recent
been.
scores?
No, you guys are right.
Last year the NL won 3-2.
That to be fair to the people that don't like the All-Star game, they're very rarely exciting.
Yeah.
Last time it went over 8.
3-2. Yeah, last time they went over 8 was 2018.
Yeah.
Nationals Park. It was 8-6. Went extras.
3, 4, 5. Since 2010, it has gone over 8 once, twice, 2 times since 2010. It's gone over.
So are we sharp?
So we're hammering the under.
Well, no. We heard two completely different things there, Elliot.
It's gone over 8 like 7 times since 2000.
Twice
Which means
since
it's
2010.
due.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to
Paul
take the
Skeen's
under.
going to get rocked.
You guys just talked me into the under. Game of the year. I'll watch now. No runs.
Game of the year under.
Second it goes over, I'm out.
Well, if they score 9 runs, hopefully we're late enough in the game, you got to see some baseball.
Yeah. Should I bet my entire count on first run, no inning?
First run, no.
First run, no
First inning,
inning,
no
that
runs.
would
Wow.
be
First
crazy.
inning, no runs.
A
First inning, no runs.
0-0 tie.
First inning, no runs.
That'd be a good All-Star game.
First
trying
inning,
to-
no runs is crazy.
I'm trying to look up First 3 no runs. Like, just do the first
I like
first
that.
18 hitters.
Until
I like
Steven
that.
Kwan leads off with a triple.
I'm taking yes plus 700. Will the All-Star game be decided by a tiebreak home run derby?
Is that a thing?
Plus 700.
I
on
forgot
FanDuel.
about that.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
I want to take it.
Now that's how you get me involved. In fact, just scrap the whole All-Star game and let's do another home run derby.
I forgot that
Oh,
was
you
a
can
thing.
bet Paul Skeen's first pitch velocity already.
What is that?
101 is plus
101.
400.
He's going to be bringing the heat.
I mean, he's going out there and throwing with every ounce of power he has.
Is there any ballpark power for this game?
There's not. I already looked.
Oh, shame. It's too bad.
All right. Speaking of All-Star game, voting just started for the Cincinnati Adult League.
Get in there and vote, people.
Can I vote?
No, you got to be on the team. But
We would have rigged those.
I've made it the first
would've.
2 years, but this is the first time that I think I might be out.
No.
Might be out.
You got to open it up to
Is
the
that just 'cause
public.
the
We would have
game's played?
Maldonado'd you in.
I don't play every game. I'm second on the team in hitting. There's one guy that's in. Steven Salisbury's in, and then our pitcher is going to be Doug Warner. I won't get it for pitching. Can I get the second? Every team gets 3. Can I get the second hitter? Can I get the second hitting spot? Big news just came through in the group me. The other guy that was a candidate says he can't make it. So that's big. So
Whoa.
vote for him.
So
Mercy
Mickey Mouse
Rule
selection.
All-Star.
Mickey Mouse selection.
Mercy Rule All-Star, Reed Mouse.
He is a Mercy Rule All-Star. But that's okay.
I didn't go to the
same.
first. I knew. So this is bad, teammate. I knew the first year that I played that I couldn't go to the game. I knew it weeks in advance when voting started. I didn't tell my team until after they voted me, because I just wanted to see
If you got in.
if I got voted. And the funny thing is like we weren't very good back then, so I knew I was gonna get it. So it was a very vain thing for me to do. We're like, all right, our first All-Star selection's Reed. And I'm like, thanks, guys. Can't make it, though. Can't make it.
That's hilarious.
That was fun. All right, we got this. We'll do this.
Ooh.
We haven't done this for a while, and we are going to do it. A little trivia? A little trivia to round out this show. We're going to do a little Daily Dozen trivia. So here goes. Make sure that keyboard is enabled. And where are we starting?
Top left.
NFL.
NFL.
NFL. This Chiefs quarterback threw 28 touchdowns and totaled over 4,000 passing yards in 2000 before joining Baltimore in 2001. That'd be Trent Dilfer?
I don't know.
Sure.
No idea.
Because
I
Trent
don't know.
Baltimore was
Too
Baltimore's
young. But he was their Super Bowl. He was
quarterback
their
in
Super Bowl winning quarterback.
2001, right? Or did they?
I thought they won it in 2000,
They did.
not 2001.
We'll go back. I'll do the MLB. After a legendary collegiate career, Gordon Beckham got drafted 8th overall by this AL Central. That's the White Sox.
Gordon Beckham.
Handsome devil he was.
Beckham.
College football. Gonna need you here, Jacob. Fullback Owen Schmidt played for this at the time Big East school from 2005 2007 before becoming an NCAA football cover athlete.
Villanova.
Old Big East fullback. Jimmy, do you know?
Syracuse.
It would be NCAA.
Boston College?
NCAA 07 or 8.
Owen Schmidt.
I'm good. My guess is Syracuse.
West Virginia? West Virginia?
West
No,
Virginia?
Syracuse ACC
Syracuse was ACC.
for football.
No, they used to be Big East.
I thought they were Big
Well, I guess
East.
they used to, but they're ACC now.
Well,
It's 2005.
It's 2005.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
There's no Big East football.
I'm trying to think if he was.
You're right. That's
West
true.
Virginia is not a bad guess.
If he's-
I like West Virginia.
Don't look it up.
Did you look it up?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought you was Googling.
I'm trying to think. It would have to be someone.
We good with West Virginia?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
That works. They have had some good players.
Oh!
Geography. The Henry Ford Museum is located in what state? Gotta be Michigan.
It is.
D2 Roy.
I hate going there. It stinks.
We hate Henry Ford.
Yeah,
Television. Following 2 women attempting to make it in New York, this acclaimed Comedy Central show, that's Girls, right?
Same. Is it 2 broke girls or
I
girls?
think it's just Girls. It's Comedy Central.
Two Broke Girls is not Comedy Central,
Okay, then
I think,
just
it's
girls.
I think it's literally just Girls.
but I've never heard of this.
Oh. No, what is it?
Is it Two Broke?
If it's 2 broke girls.
2 Broke Girls is an ABC. That wasn't Comedy Central.
I don't know. I'm not very well versed in
Girls is HBO. It was Broad Street.
Broad Street.
Johnny Depp played a mystery author with writer's block in the midst of a painful divorce in this 2004 psychological thriller based on a Stephen King novella. I don't know this. I
thought you were going to have this locked and
No,
loaded.
I
I don't know
vaguely
this
remember
either.
this movie.
Chat?
I'm gonna need some chat. I'm gonna need the chat here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Will Tiger make the cut? Probably not.
Chat, we're going to need you here.
Secret Window?
Secret Window.
Secret
I like
Window.
Everett's movie chops. I think he has this one.
Oh, yeah. Mouse
What
cut
the hell
knows
is
it, too.
Secret Window?
It's a movie about a 2004 psychological thriller based on a Stephen King novella starring Johnny Depp about a writer with writer's block in the midst of a painful divorce.
That was a good bit.
You asked what it was, and it just
told you.
Well, I was just thinking. It was a general question.
But she wears short skirts. I wear
wear
t-shirts.
t-shirts.
She's cheer captain,
and I'm on the bleachers.
Our
Dreaming about the
lyrics
day.
from what 2008 Taylor Swift song?
Looking for to be here the whole time. If you believe that I'm the one who
You Belong With Me.
It's a love story, right?
Oh, I have no idea.
No,
You Belong With Me. I was
You
right.
It's not
Belong
a love
With
story, it's a
Me.
It's a love story, baby. Just say yes. That's a love story. Why don't you see?
You belong with me.
You belong with me.
Chain
32.
restaurants. In 2024, what major pizza chain began
Little
selling
Caesars.
handheld mini pizza puffs? That is Little Caesars. I had Little Caesars on Friday.
Little
Pizza.
Caesars rocks.
I haven't been to Little Caesars in 15 years.
It's,
No,
it's
I-
really good after you go out
won't.
and have some
I won't
drinks
do it.
and stuff.
It's terrible.
It's horrendous pizza.
It's fine.
I think it's just fine.
It's literally just, it's for $5. It's fine. $6.
Unless they changed it since I was there, it was truly horrible.
It's like cardboard, is what everyone says.
That's right.
When
It
you tell
is.
people, I would have, I actually,
not.
if we would have continued to talk about this,
It
I
would-
could have
it
put $1
would've.
billion that someone was going, it's like eating cardboard.
Why is that your representation of someone who doesn't like Little Caesars?
Because you were going to say it. It
But I
was
don't-
in
I
your
don't
head.
sound
It
like
was
that.
in your head.
Yeah,
You were
Everett-
saying
Yeah, it was
it's
in the
like
queue.
cardboard.
It's a little worse than
Mind
the
you,
Roses.
Detroit
Who's
style
this
deep
Chiefs?
dish.
Who's this Chiefs quarterback?
Detroit style deep dish
And what
is
was
way
the-
better
what
than
was-
Little
what'd you say?
Caesars.
It's a little worse than
Little
what?
Caesars
La
is the
Rosa's.
local fast
Oh, La
food
Rosa's
pizza
great.
chain for me. So
All right, who's
I
this?
gotta
This
like
is
it.
Simon Cowell and
Bro, that's definitely Simon Cowell. I have no
Simon
idea.
Cowell.
Who? I have no idea who that other person is.
Anyone? Anyone?
Jesus.
Do they
Demi
have?
Lovato.
Do they have Little Caesars around here?
Yeah, there's one in Hamilton. I got nothing, guys. We're gonna skip on that one.
Demi Lovato.
Elvis? People are telling me Elvis.
Oh, Gerbach.
How do you spell it?
Gerbac. I think.
G-E-R-B.
I think it's GR.
Grbac. That's right. That's absolutely right.
That's an impossible
You're
guess.
saying that's Demi Lovato?
I think
That's not Demi Lovato.
I'm trying to do the.
I think Game Day's got the answer.
What do you
in
say?
chat.
That's not Demi Lovato.
Idiot.
Thanks.
Simon Cowell.
Ryring's Pizzeria.
I just don't know who that is.
It's not Demi Lovato. No, I'm done.
Oh, we stink.
Who was it?
Who was it?
Only 4% got it right. It was Lana Dunham.
I don't know who that is.
Don't know who that is.
Sorry?
Broad City. All right. See you guys.
Peace.
See ya.